Oh, well, hello, everybody. I hope the sound is better this time. I know that it's been good for Dreamland. I know it was good for the Rascal Does Not Dream, Dreamland, Rascal Does Not Dream live stream. So if you can hear me just fine, please let me know. Matt Movie 611, good to see you. I see there's a number of people in the chat right now. Good. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate that. All right. So I've just gotten done eating dinner. So I'll probably have a few coughs and because I'm old. All right, cool. Okay. First up, there is an unboxing here that's not an unboxing anymore because it showed up damaged. Now we're not going to do unboxings immediately. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I've seen some things in the chat. There was a super chat here that I wanted to pick up from Troy Pacelli from Last Call. Pacelli? I never know if I get that right. All right. Let me grab it over here because I have to get it in StreamYard because there we go. He says, Michael is bored. Maybe a $5 will help. I don't know how, but I appreciate that, Troy. Thank you very much. I hope you and Ned are doing well tonight. I actually have a parcel here from you and Netter to open. So I got parcels to open. But the first thing that I wanted to mention is hello everyone. Good to see you all. Kenny, good to see you, man. First thing I wanted to mention is that there was a parcel that was at the P.O. box and it had some damage to it. So I immediately got home a few days ago and I pulled it out of the package just to make sure everything was fine. Now, fortunately, everything inside the parcel was 100. Mike Alonzo, good to see you, sir. Mike Alonzo of the Clobberin' Times podcast is here. Good to see you too, Mike. Good to see you too. And yes, mine is, Brian, mine is currently sitting in escrow waiting for the Vader to arrive. I have purchased it, but I'm waiting for Vader so that it all ships together. Laser Pants, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, any Marine fairing mommy milker discussion tonight? Or is that only for April 1st? Well, you may notice my t-shirt here. Now, I'll tell you the story about this t-shirt in a minute. It was part of a carefully laid plan that was so subtle, nobody picked up on it, which is not what you want to do, I guess, when you're a YouTuber. But that's what happened for me. So, all right, here we go. Somebody named Richard, who's a supporter of the channel, surprised me with custom Sega Dreamcast games. These are actual, like, fan-made Dreamcast limited run portovers of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and Tomb Raider, both of which were never on the Dreamcast, obviously. Now, Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, was on Dreamcast, but these two games never were, and these are fully done up custom Dreamcast games. I can't believe that I didn't even know these existed, but they're so well done. It almost makes me want a Dreamcast. Obviously, I don't have that, but I can't wait to put these into the Tomb Raider Indiana Jones collection. But he says, wanted to send these two games your way. I know RetroBlasting doesn't really focus on video games, but I know how much a fan you are of Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones. And just because I don't focus on video games that much in my videos, Richard, I am still very much a video game person when it comes to Lara Croft, Indiana Jones, vintage, 90s Star Wars PC gaming, stuff like that. So you're right in my wheelhouse on this one. About these two games here, neither of these titles ever came out for the Sega Dreamcast. They are unofficial ports. You may be familiar with the Open Lara project, which has seen the original Tomb Raider ported to a multitude of consoles. Yes, the Dreamcast port does just that, but actually uses the PC assets, all while taking advantage of the Dreamcast capabilities. Whereas Indiana Jones is the FM Towns Marty version ported to the Dreamcast. I don't know if you have a Dreamcast, but I can imagine that you will at the very least appreciate these. Yes, I do, for existing when they shouldn't. Wanted to send these to you as thanks for all the content that RetroBlasting produces. I believe I found your channel some time ago based on your Star Wars pop culture commentary. And boy, oh boy, did you end up predicting the future. While I am by no means a toy guy, I genuinely enjoy all the videos. Thank you very much. And now know way more about the state of the toy industry than I should. This unfortunately includes the Hasbros. Thanks again for all the content and hope you enjoy these. Take care, Richard. Well, Richard, thanks a million. These are amazing. I am tempted to now go source out a Dreamcast, legitimately, just to say I played these versions of the game. So thank you so much. These are two of my favorite games of all time, and fans are doing the best work. It couldn't have gone any better. Thank you so much, Richard. Thanks, Killamagwai. That's very kind. Okay. Before we get into anything that's in the chat, I wanted to explain this t-shirt. So if you go back a few videos, I can't remember which video it is. There is a Broken Vader opener where he and I are sitting at the table in the room back there, and he's talking to me about something, and my t-shirt changes for one shot and goes back. I don't notice because I didn't change my t-shirt, but Vader notices. The whole idea. Oh, thank you, Evol Collector. Thank you. That's very, very kind. Appreciate it. The whole joke is that this was at least a month and a half ago, where I was already planning to do the April 1st video based on this. So I ran off and photoshopped this image together with the logo and everything. And then I went to Redbubble and whipped up the t-shirt and got it sent to me so that I could have it for that one bit. And I made sure that the table cut me off right about here so that nobody saw the title. That was like my risk. It was like my little like telegraph of, hey, if you pick up on this detail, you might then realize on the April Fool's video that you're watching that very thing. But I think I was too subtle. It's okay though. It happens. So, all right. Well, I've been seeing some things in the chat. First of all, I wanted to get you guys your thoughts on. Okay, Ray here says Star Wars TIE Fighter game for PC was the best. I liked TIE Fighter a lot. I played it. I had both the 3.5 floppy version and then the CD-ROM. I still always loved X-Wing the most, though, because I liked being rebels more than I liked being bad guys. I know a lot of people love TIE Fighter, and I think they probably just got sucked into the fact that it was, from a game engine design perspective, it was X-Wing with all the kinks worked out. So it was X-Wing 2.0, but it was Imperials. But I really wished that they would have gone back and I know they did X-Wing Alliance, but I really wanted a redone X-Wing original game because I like the good guys. I like their ships better. I like the whole struggle against the Empire. I'm not big on the other way around. Let's see. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, it happens that way sometimes. It happens. Yeah, I have those upstairs, George. I've got them in the big boxes. The big boxes. In fact, the first time that I ever saw, a PC demoing X-Wing was at the Virgin Games Megastore in Kingston when I was a kid in the UK, and they were letting it run behind the register on the demo PCs, and I was buying a Star Wars role-playing game source book. It's a good time. Ever give the show? Thank you for the super chat, Cosmic J. He says, ever give the show Saint Seiya a chance or any 80s anime? Well, I know of Saint Seiya. I haven't watched it yet. I've of course done videos about Macross and Beast King Lion and Armored Fleet Die Rugger because of their relationships to Voltron and Robotech. I've watched other 80s and late 70s anime, including Voltes 5. I tried to watch Mazinger Z, but unfortunately, the DVD that I had at the time many years ago had crazy subtitles that didn't make any sense whatsoever. So it was obviously a bootleg at the time. I know they've since officially released it, but it's a very expensive set. So, but I have not watched Saint Seiya yet. But yeah. Okay. Did I ever get the package with Terrahawks, Jelly Babies, and the Living Daylights Aston Martin? I'm pretty sure I opened that on the last stream. That sounds familiar. I think if I didn't open it on the last stream, it may be here right now because it's been a while since I went to the PO box. If you don't see it in this mystery box opening, Hephaestus, try and go back to the last stream that I did with unboxings in them. I know that might be a needle in a haystack, but it was only a few months ago. It might be there because that does sound familiar. Does sound familiar. But if you sent it recently, it could very well be right here because I have a box from the UK. Here you go. Let's see. Yes, War Party, it does. I see that you've got sort of the Imperial logo customed up as your avatar. But the other thing about that is just that the Empire was evil. I mean, they're the bad guys. I know that there's all these jokes now because, you know, Kevin Smith movies and whatnot try to make everything gray and everything's, you know, morally nihilistic at this point. But, I mean, you know, Star Wars is about an evil empire versus a group of rebels. So I prefer playing out the mythology rather than playing the oppressor. That's just me. Well, that's one way to do it, Troy. That's one way to do it. I'll give you that. Did I ever play the new Jedi games? Yeah, I played the first one, Jedi Survivor, whatever that one was. I haven't played the second one yet. I've only played the first one. It was a good game. I'm not that big on Lost Souls gameplay. I just don't. I'm sick of this whole gameplay thing where every single successful move is based on you hitting something within a narrow window of milliseconds right as they're about to hit you. And if you don't do it that way, you get trounced. It's like people don't fight that way. Like there are some moves in fights that can go that way, but by and large, it's not an over and over again strategy. And so that becomes very repetitive. I get sick of doing that over and over again. It's why I got rid of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I couldn't stand that gameplay. I hated it. I like being able to figure out my own way of fighting in the game. Yeah, I think they did, Carl. I think they might have. Eric, I haven't played any superhero RPGs. I haven't. Let's see. Yes, War Stories is coming back, Louis. War Stories is coming back. Well, Daniel, good luck on the Kenner Indie. Good luck. Those last few pieces can be tough, whatever they are, not just yours. Scott Knudsen, thank you for the super chat. He says, between news on the march and April Fool's Day, your mouth is off to a great start. Thanks for the laughs. Yeah, somebody asked me about that the other day. Yesterday. They said, you know, is your voice all ragged out? And I was like, no, not really. I said, I did practice. As I was writing the script, I would reread every paragraph that I wrote in the voice because I had to see if it was going to work and if I could say those lines and words in that sequence, you know, or choose different words or whatever. Excuse me, see, told you, dinner. And that voice, you know, you've got the man-child news guy who is he's a nuance off of Skeletor. So like Skeletor is more whiny, whereas Man-Child News Guy, you like Skeletor, he just has his voice sort of right here in the register. He-Man. And if you do the Man-Child News Guy, you're trying to get that almost like 1930s, 40s announcer meets barbershop quartet kind of thing. And so my voice, I put my mouth over here, so it's less like this and it's more over there, or like that, you know. See, you know, like almost like a bad James Cagney, right? The 90s guy, who I don't try to perfectly mimic him because I can't, but it's just more like overblown gravitas on the stupidest things with the bassiest, graveliest voice you can get. And when I read that title the first time on the Amazon recommendations, I lost it. I just thought it was so hilarious. I didn't know what the show was. I didn't know anything about it. Just that title alone. And the first thing that came into my head was Kandagawa Jet Girls. Like I just laughed my butt off. I thought I have to do a video about this. I have to. I don't even know what it is. I'll roll the dice on it and see what happens. And it was gold, Jerry. It was gold. Let's see. Girls and Panzer from World War II Tankery. I'll look that up. Thank you, KBA. I will look that up. Tony Horton, good to see you. Tim, gameplay is how the game is played. Like, in other words, how the game functions and feels when you're playing the game. It's called gameplay. I hope I've explained that correctly. Duke Royal, thank you for the super chat. He says, what do you think of the Super 7 D&D figures? Will they replace your Hasbro ones? No, they won't. Because one, they're all 7-inch scale, which, whatever, like, thanks a lot, Brian Flynn. Two, they're mega expensive, just like everything Brian Flynn has been making. And three, you can't hardly pose them. The Hasbro ones are bad enough with the poor posing, but they're a lot better than what I'm seeing from this Super 7 offering. He's got to step up his game. And if the rumors are true, he didn't and took too long, and now he's been sidelined, but there's no confirmation on that yet. Let's see. Gray Monger Arc, thank you for the super chat. He says, are you ever going to re-upload the old He-Man and Thundercat stuff? I used to watch those videos as a kid, but if I remember correctly, you took them down. Unfortunately, Gray, the reason they got taken down was I kept editing them and re-editing them and re-editing them, and Warner Brothers just kept coming at me. I was able to finally get them to stop with Silverhawks, but with Thundercats, they just wouldn't let up. And I finally said, you know what, screw it. And so I took them down. I made them an exclusive for top tier patrons on the Patreon. They have access to a lost videos folder that's not on YouTube, and they can be seen there. But yeah, I got tired of fighting Warner Brothers on it. I'm working slowly on doing a redux of the Thundercats retrospective that'll be more comprehensive. I admittedly am not working, very quickly on it because I went through a lot of neck pain, as the title of this live stream says, back about for the better part of 6 weeks, starting in late January. It was virtually paralyzing. I don't want to put that word out there too strongly, but it was. So it's been a little slow going of late, but I'm going to be picking that back up here in the next week or so and getting through the rest of the episodes. But the original videos for Thundercats, I don't recall any He-Man videos coming down. All my He-Man videos should still be up, but the Thundercats videos, they went down. So they're on the top tier Patreon. Okay, let's see here. Well, George, I intend to get Carry On Up the Khyber into War Stories at some point. Thank you, Laser Kid. Very kind of you to say. Brian Stevenson, you haven't seen a floppy disk in years? This is a silicone drink coaster That was part of a set of them that was given to me by Master Son 42, my friend and co-host on War Stories. So they are not actual floppy disks. I'm sure I have some running around, hanging around though in a box somewhere. I'm so glad so many people caught that, Forlam. I should have known people would catch that, and they didn't catch the shirt from a few months ago. Let's see. Thank you, Troy, for the kind super chat. He says, just checked. I think you took the last board live stream down. Yeah, the one that had the technical issues I did. The other one is so they're unlisted. Yeah, what I'll do after this stream, guys, is if you can't find there's been a quirk with YouTube. I don't know what the deal is, but every time I try to put all of my live streams back into a playlist, it stops adding them in after a certain point. And when I try to just put the most recent ones in, it refuses. I have no idea why. It's some sort of weird glitch. I'm not sure what's going on. But I'll try to get them in a playlist. So just watch for those if you can. I unlist them after the show is over because, unfortunately, there is a quirk in the YouTube culture where if you go live and you get a notification that this channel you like has gone live, you either go to watch it live or you ignore it. Then after it processes the video, it then re-notifies every subscriber that there's a new video out, which for the person that ignored the live stream will get really annoyed because they're like, I already didn't want to watch that. And then they might unsubscribe from the channel. So a good practice, if you're not exclusively a live stream channel, is to unlist your live streams and try and make playlists out of them, if YouTube would allow you to do that. Thank you, Toy Gains. Appreciate that about Manchild News. Thank you so much. Hello, Analog Toys. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Roundtree, I have seen the new Mezco Dick Tracy 2-pack. It's Mezco, so it's expensive, but it's pretty neat. I'm also loving the it's either Mafex or Mezco doing the Shadow. That Shadow looks incredible. I would almost buy the Shadow before I bought Dick Tracy just based on how it looks. No, Nick, I don't collect Mad Balls. I only have the one from childhood. I don't collect them. Where did I get the Kandagawa Girls tee? Well, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, I had this made as an Easter egg for an earlier video. I made this t-shirt. I photoshopped the graphic together and made this t-shirt for a video Easter egg to try and hint what was going to be coming down the pipeline with the I'm hoping that's true, Brian. I really am. Lester Tank San Jose the Skeptic, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, your April 1st video was grand. Thank you. Been appreciative of your insights regarding shorts and how you were proven right. Keep on rocking. Well, thank you. You keep on rocking as well. And thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for the kind super chat. And just thanks for enjoying the April 1st video. Humor videos don't tend to do very well. I love doing them, but the kind of videos that I make about humor, they tend to fall through the cracks. Like my Tubbs video, my Eternals video, the one about pop vinyls. People just don't seem to show up for those, which is kind of disappointing. So, because they're some of my favorite videos I've ever done, including this latest one. So thank you for watching it. I will do a video about the original Kenner Jurassic Park line at some point. It's just time. Time and everything else makes fools of us all. Let's see. Let's see here. That's a very nice compliment. Thank you, Stephen. That's very kind of you. Let's see. Favorite D&D classic module besides Isle of Dread, which is the one that I believe came with one of the box sets, right? I'm not sure. I ended up I loved old red box Dungeons and Dragons, and we had the blue box and the green box. We never got around to the black box or the Immortals box. But I did end up getting way into Star Wars West End Games role-playing game. So probably my favorite role-playing modules are Mission to Liana. I think that's what it's. Yeah, I think it's Mission to Liana and Tatooine Manhunt, because Jodo Cast was introduced in it. Brian Dillingham, thank you so much for the Dillinghamism, sir. Much appreciated. Oh man. I'm trying to get to Dallas Fort Worth for the thing. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but people have said they want me there. I'm going to try and show up. I promise. I'm going to try and be there if I can make it happen financially. Yeah, I haven't played the Ninja Gaiden remakes yet. I am a Capitron as far as Masters of the Universe Origins. I stopped collecting those for the most part when there was a double whammy of they were dragging their feet trying to get the other figures from the original line out, and they kept detouring and distracting themselves with all these other characters I didn't care about. But when they made Moss Man $40 and they made Tongue Lasher an exclusive, which they've done again with Rock On, I was like, no. I was like, this is infuriating. My good friend Shane has since found me a Moss Man on deep clearance that he's sending me. Very, very kind of him to do so. So now I'm trying to get Tongue Lasher. And if I can get Tongue Lasher and then secure a Rock On, I might jump back on, because I heard they're coming out with Cyclone, and I got to catch up on a few figures in Snake Mountain and stuff like that. But before you ask, I don't care about Eternia. I didn't care about it as a kid. I don't care about it now. I don't regret not buying into that. I don't buy into corporate Kickstarters anyway. So don't ask me about Eternia. As a child, I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb looking. And as an adult, I was hoping they would do like a more cartoon accurate Eternia playset, which they didn't do. So I don't consider it to be an essential need for me. To me, it's Six Flags over Eternia, and I hate it. So I'll be willing to catch up on the rest of the original Mattel line in Origins form if I can secure a Tongue Lasher at some point. So yeah, Muslim Uncle, I am hoping that neck pain won't return. I really am, because it's not fun, and it's a real condition that developed in my 30s. So I'm not pleased about it. Robert Diaz, thank you for the kind super chat. Your parody video about Jet Girls was great. Keijo is another great anime about fighting with female plot for battle supremacy. They fight. Okay, well, I think I saw a comment from you or somebody else mentioning Keijo. I've already gone and looked it up for the kitsch factor. It looks pretty damn amazing. So I might look into it, just because. Yeah, I might. Aged Boomer is here from Last Call. Thank you so much, man. I don't know if this was talked about. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if this was talked about, but did you hear about Dial of Destiny's $130 million loss for Disney? I read this article earlier this morning. I mean, I'm so glad they finally ran down the exact numbers on that, because Dial of Destiny, we all knew it was the most expensive boondoggle of all time. And to finally have a number to hang on the losses, which, I mean, a baffling amount of money thrown into such a boring movie. Like, the movie is so boring, and yet somehow it ate up almost $400 million in budget. How? Like, how do they do that? Like, I'm still like, it shuts my brain down the same way it was when I saw Seven for the first time. Like, I just stare at the ceiling like, how did they manage to mess that up? Like, I don't know. It blows my mind. It really does. Let me see. Let's see. Hephaestus says, Hephaestus and Troy are having a conversation. It'll be forever if I can figure that one out. Mark D with a C. Good to see you, sir. Let me see now. How deep did you go into the Star Wars EU back in the day? Well, funny you should mention that, Mega System, because I'm about to do a video that really talks about all that. I'm scripting it right now. It will be the next video on RetroBlasting. And as a matter of fact, a gentleman who just dropped a $20 super chat is responsible for it. So let me get to him in a second. Capitron, I'm trying to keep up with the stuff. So I've already answered the question. You don't have to repeat the question. Don't spam the chat with the same question. Wolfie, thank you for the super chat. He says, evening, sir. Have you had a chance to screen True Lies Aliens Abyss 4K yet? No. I heard they were horrible. Like, I heard that you can now see the guys in the leotards and the suits on Aliens. I don't want that. I'll pass. I'm good. I don't enjoy Abyss enough to own it. Aliens I enjoy enough to own it. I've got the Blu-ray anthology set. But as far as like owning these, I've heard they're terrible. Yes, I will do a Captain Power video someday. Let's see. Tongue-in-cheek Michael is the best Michael. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. They really don't. The humor videos don't do all that well. They ride way behind everything else. If you sort by most popular videos on the channel page, you'll have to scroll for pages and pages and pages to find the humor videos. They just don't. They don't play. Thanks, Ocab. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Daniel Dorian, thank you for the £5. Do you think it's a shame that the Kenner Robin Hood figures didn't have knee joints since they were mainly recolored superpower molds? Yeah, I do. As a kid, I wished that they had better joints. We were getting used to that at the time, barring Ninja Turtles, which were very popular, that didn't really have many joints. But as far as them being more realistic humans, I really wished they had. I liked them all the same. I didn't have many of them in childhood, but I have the whole collection now. In fact, I have the whole collection loose and carded with vehicles and playsets loose and boxed. That just lends itself to the fact that 12 years ago when I was buying them, they were very affordable. But I do still really appreciate them, even though they were shortcutted a little bit. So yeah, that was a disappointment for sure. Let's see here. I haven't got Yesterland. I've only seen photos of Cyclone from Moto Origins. So yeah, SX HBK, $600 for Eternity is insanity, especially when I'm looking at it going, I still don't like it. Like I'm now 40 years out from Eternia, maybe 38 years out, and I still hate it. Like I hate crowd funds and I hate Eternia. Those are two things that definitely are going to keep me away forever. You know, I'm never going to regret not picking that up. Oh, congratulations, Robin. Congratulations, Robin. Who'd you get it from? Let's see. And here's the man himself. This is the man that's made the next video coming out possible. My good friend Raymond. He picked up on the fact that I talked in a few videos about loving the Zahn trilogy. And then one day he asked me if I ever got the 1998 Power of the Force 2 expanded universe set of 9 figures. I said I saw them as a sophomore in college at an electronics boutique. The only time I ever saw them on pegs, I was a sophomore in college, so I didn't even have my high school job anymore, so I was kind of poor, and I couldn't buy them. But I always wanted them because of Mara Jade being in there and Thrawn and Kyle Katarn, because I loved Dark Forces. So I read all of Dark Empire when it came out as it was published as well. I bought those all in Britain. I was still living in Britain when those came out, like the original Zahn trilogy. Yeah, the Zahn stuff and Kyle Katarn was where I was at. So it was a real bummer that I never got those. And then I just never swung back around to find them again because they were already out of stores and I was focused on other things. And Raymond tracked all of them down mint on card and surprised me with them over a period of 2 years. And so I've got them all set up, ready to go. I've just got to write the script and get filming on it. But I've already filmed B-roll for it. So it's going to be a more encompassing video. It's not just going to be these are the 9 figures. It's going to talk about a lot of stuff. It's going to talk about expanded universe representation in Black Series. It's going to talk a little bit about the 3 3/4 inch super articulated stuff. I don't have much of that just because, again, I was very, very financially challenged when those figures came out in the early 2000s. So, but they will get a mention. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. And Raymond, this man right here, was the man that did it. Thank you for the kind super chat, Raymond. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. He says, "Hi, Michael. I love the April Fool's video, both versions. Damn, that was funny." Thank you. I appreciate that, man. So have you perchance seen the new Hasbro Pulse release for The Last Command with 6-inch Luke, Joruus C'baoth, and Mara Jade? Yes, I have. I'll be talking about that in the video as well, but the short answer is it's very disappointing that they're basically repacking the most recent Jedi Luke and the Mara Jade figure into this. I know she's now got a swappable head, but the Luke figure is just the Death Star dual Luke that was on the Jabba's Palace card for no good reason, because Hasbro's just phoning it in now. Funny thing about that is I picked up that 40th anniversary Luke Skywalker to go with my Dark Force Rising Black Series Mara Jade, because I think there was a video where I showed that I had a custom Mara Jade done several years ago, and then I had the standard Walmart Jedi Luke from Jabba's Palace in there, the one that everybody says looks like a Scottish grandmother, and they were with Thrawn on my shelf. But then I got the new Mara Jade, and so I wanted to upgrade Luke, and they came out with that one. So I find it really funny that they didn't use the Heir to the Empire Luke, who sucked, because he was just Dagobah training Luke spray painted in black clothes. Like, they just took his khaki clothes and spray painted them black, and then they put the Mara back in there. I mean, it's like, and the Luke clone is just a kit bash with a new head. Like, he looks like a miniseries Obi-Wan Kenobi arms with like farm boy with Dagobah training Luke legs and boots, and he's got like just a prequel Jedi torso. Like, it could be anybody. It could be Mace Windu or somebody on it. And then a soft goods cloak. I'm still tempted because it's Last Command and Joruus is in there, but because they only did one figure for Heir to the Empire, and then they did one figure for Dark Force Rising, Luke in the crappy black spray painted clothes, and then Mara Jade, who's a decent figure. The Last Command getting 4 figures feels like such a cheat, because we've never had an expanded universe Han Solo in the Black Series line. We've never had a Talon card in 6-inch in the Black Series line. We've never had any of the other characters in their Heir to the Empire depictions, like Winter or Lando, Captain Paleon. There's a ton of them that we could get that we're not going to get. So yeah, it feels a little backhanded, honestly. I might pick it up, but the price is really ridiculous. All right, let's see. That's what it is, John. That's what it is. Where's the lie? Let's see. Randall, I discovered Stan Solo because he reached out to me many, many years ago when he did his first figure, which was the Han and Stormtrooper disguise. And he asked me if that was something that I thought vintage collectors would be interested in. And I was like, yeah. I said, where do I give you my money? And he pointed me to the page, and I bought mine and did the review. So that's kind of how it all happened. Let's see. Looking here. I saw the 12 o'clock high jug you have a replica of used in Masters of the Air. I literally yelled out, "That's Michael's pilot jug." No problem, Capitron. No problem. I just want to let you know that I am watching the chat. So, like, I will try and catch this kind of stuff. I really will. I do like DC, Roundtree. I like DC a lot. Unfortunately, the McFarlane figures are all 7-inch scale. And I was even looking at one of his mini versions of Batgirl the other day. I like how he drills down into that stuff, but unfortunately, I just can't jump into it because there's so many styles, and also I haven't seen a Superman from him yet that doesn't look like nightmare fuel. I mean, all of his Superman faces, the guy looks like he's just carrying walnuts in his cheeks all the time, or he's got some goofy grin, or I don't know what his deal is with Superman because he's the first one I would buy, and yeah. Who would I like to make Double Dragon action figures? Jada Toys, probably, since they're doing such a good job with Street Fighter 2. Let's see, what indie jacket do you have and from what company? Well, I have 2 jackets from Wested and I have 1 from Magnolia Clothiers. What are my thoughts on the Flip Or Kickstarter? Keep up the show. Is that thing that YouTuber is doing? I mean, I wish him all the best. I don't know much about it, honestly. I've been kind of head down working on some other stuff when that kind of thing's going on. I get a little nervous. Admittedly, I get nervous when YouTubers who are doing stuff like I do. Do you remember the line? Do you remember the line in Band of Brothers in the first episode where they're finally in England and they're getting ready for the jump, and it's Buck Compton and Winters are in the Jeep, and Buck has basically just been assigned as their sergeant, and Winters is talking to him about he saw him playing cards with them and stuff, and Buck's like, I lost, it's okay, and he's like, yeah, but what if you hadn't lost? And he says, never put yourself in a position where you take from these men. And this might sound really heavy, and I don't mean it to be, but a lot of YouTubers now just they feel like they're just not making enough, and they start jumping into these wells where I'm going to be a toy maker, or I'm going to be a comic book writer, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that. And I've just seen too many of these things, both in the toy space, even with non-YouTubers, but especially with YouTubers. I've seen it just go sideways. And my talent and where I operate is trying to continue to hone my writing skills, which thankfully I've always had a knack for. And then what I don't have a knack for is lighting. I can edit, I can write, I can film. Not so good with lighting, working on that. But my attitude has always been, that's what you deliver. You deliver it on a platform where people can access it for free. So there's no barrier there to entry for them. And you don't put yourself in a position where you take from people. Now, the fans of this channel, the supporters of this channel for years begged for a Patreon. And I finally said, okay, and I set up a Patreon, but it's a very minimal cost Patreon. It doesn't follow the guidelines for Patreon. It's and I make sure that I am loading it with content all the time because they keep this channel's lights on. But as far as like t-shirts and mugs and all that stuff, they want those kind of things too. And I just sort of said, okay, sure, we'll do the Redbubble thing, and it's over here if you want it, but we're not going to pimp it. We're not going to push it. If you ask about it, we'll tell you. But that's like, Redbubble's a reputable company for getting a good t-shirt made like this one. So that's when I hear toy YouTubers are trying to go into a space where they, want all this Kickstarter money after I've seen all the independent toy projects go sideways. Not all of them. Some of them have actually ponied up and done well, but we know the infamous ones, and the infamous ones ruin it for everybody. They do and have. So yeah, my thoughts on that would be, wait and see. It's a YouTuber, whoever it is, I can't remember, doing that thing. I'll wait till it's on shelves and or ready to buy. I'm not gonna think about it ahead of that. I don't want to put myself in a position where I take from you guys. I just won't do it. I haven't read the article, Tyler, about DEI officer telling the company to tear. But I mean, Warner Brothers is in a total disaster zone right now. I know some people love Zaslav, but I don't like him. But I don't like any CEO. That's a universal take. I don't like CEOs. So, you know, and Warner Brothers is in a mess right now in all sorts of directions. So what you're telling me doesn't shock me, but I hadn't heard about that. Let's see. Your Muslim uncle, thank you for the kind super chat. He says, it's disheartening to me that we, myself first, let politics divide us. It's such an oasis, and I don't know people in my life I can share this with. We are getting older and less people to share it with. Yeah, like this is why my channel's apolitical. My channel's not like that. I know that some people have laughed in good humor and said that RetroBlasting is the most based toy channel on the internet. And maybe that's true, but I think they mean it in a good way, where I'm not like causing divisions among people. I just tell people what I think. And what I think has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with corporate lack of corporate common sense and all kinds of other problems that are out there in the pop culture community right now. I don't triple down on those thoughts. I give them when I feel it's necessary, and then I move on to my next video project. But you know, I will get my voice out there, and I appreciate guys like you, Muslim Uncle, who've stuck around and appreciate what I have to say and what I make. Oh, thank you, Matthew. That's very kind. You're very welcome. Thank you, sir. Master Son 42 is here. He says, all don't worry, Mikey. All don't worry. Mikey will be at the DFW show. Money won't be an issue. War Stories is coming back. Blame Tony. Always blame Tony for anything. We are finishing up watching Masters of the Air, and that is what will relaunch Volume 2 of War Stories. War Stories was never canceled. It just went on hiatus. So yeah, and Master Son, thank you for being here, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Somebody here said something about Toy Gains. I don't own or sorry, Toy Gains. I don't own many Dragon Riders of the Sticks. I think I have 4. I've got the Black Knight, the demon dude with the wings, the devil guy. I've got the like blue goblin ogre dude with the horned helmet. And then I've got this other guy who kind of looks like a dude with kind of like a dragon head or something. Yeah, I got 4 of them. They have their weapons. I know 3 out of the 4 of them at least have all their weapons, but yeah, they're cool. I remember growing up with them. Other kids had them when I was growing up in my early childhood. Well, is it different from the wide 4K release? Because I have the limited 4K from years ago. So far I'm playing through Roland. I'm playing through Rolando. I'm playing through the first game on remaster. I think it's fine. I can't use the modern controls because the modern controls are broken. Even the patch didn't deal with it, the recent patch. I don't mind the tank controls because I played it on PC. All 5 original games I played on PC. And so it's muscle memory to me. I'm very used to just, I mean, it was literally years before I replayed Tomb Raider 1 when the fan Tomb Raider 1 main, TR1 main or whatever it's called, came out. And it had been over a decade and a half since I last picked up Tomb Raider. And I loaded up the patch or the whatever, the mod, and it came up in glorious, this was before remaster, just glorious full screen, you know, stabilized, upscaled, blocky graphics. And my fingers went back to that keyboard, and I was playing it just like it was yesterday. Like my fingers remembered all the different keystrokes and stuff. So while remaster is not a loss for me because it doesn't have the modern control sticks working right, like they work, but they don't work, if you know what I mean. So I would like them to fix that. That would really make everything really exciting. But in the meantime, I'm playing through it, and I'm fine with the tank controls. So I'm enjoying it a lot. The visuals are 10 out of 10. They're beautiful. Let's see. I blame Tony when my cat farts in my lap. Gotta love this chat. Gotta love this chat. Moonlight, as far as trading cards go, I had trading cards as a kid. The most trading cards we ever had from any sets were, I had the full run of Rocketeer. We had a lot of the Ninja Turtles cartoon cards. We had a lot of the different Marvel Universe sets, not full sets, but we had a lot of the cards from sets 2, 3, and 4, I think. And I feel like I'm missing. And then I had like handfuls of other ones. So like I had a handful of Batman Returns. I had a handful of Dick Tracy. But nothing major. As of right now, I have, as an adult collector, I have the entire multi set run of The Empire Strikes Back, from back in the day with all the color borders. I have all the Return of the Jedi cards. I have all the, I believe I have all the Raiders of the Lost Ark cards, I think, but I could be wrong about that. I could be making that up in my head. So yeah, that's all I can think of so far. Well, the thing about Transor Z is that it's hard to get your hands on as Transor Z. My buddy Scott Williams and I actually went through this a while back, and you can download some of them from Daily Motion, but the Transor Z edits of all those episodes don't exist anymore. Like some of them are lost. Like the most comprehensive episode list for Transor Z that you could get on a bootleg DVD still is missing like 3 or 4, might even be 5 or 6 episodes. So while I can watch Mazinger Z and I can watch the majority of Transor Z, you can't see all of it, which would be challenging to then put together a comprehensive retrospective. I mean, I guess I could just say that. I hate doing that though, but maybe it's my only choice. Yeah, that's what I said, Philip. I said the same thing a few minutes ago. Palian and Card are the 2 big missing ones, and I'd like to see Winter and versions of Han Solo, Leia, and Lando. And a better Luke Skywalker for sure. Let's see. What do we got here? The new Ghostbusters G.I. Joe style figures, Tyler. I haven't answered this yet, but they're great. Well, see, I'll get back to you in a second. Here's the thing, Troll Painting. If you put that version of Lando in a 4-pack for one of the books with other desirable figures, then it would sell by default because the other figures in it would create a comprehensive thing. There, I said my piece on it. Yeah, Tyler, I love the G.I. Joe style Ghostbusters figures because they're exactly what I wanted as a kid in the summer of '84. That's what I visualized that's what I visualized Ghostbusters toys looking like. And those figures they showed are almost spot on, jumped right out of my kid imagination. It kind of freaked me out. So I'm going to try and buy them if I can beat the pre-order bots to the window, because, that's always fun. But if I can get them, I will be buying those. Troy's getting the Stan Solo double telescoping sabers. Nice. They're fun to play with. They really are. It's cool to see how they work. The Indoor Trooper is now $18. Interesting, Michael Hinkson. Interesting. I didn't know that. I know that a lot of things on Hasbro Pulse have gone on sale. A lot of the Indiana Jones stuff from the Adventure series has gone on sale as well. I'm the same way, Paul D. I got Luke and Mara for the Mara. Yeah, the Luke is weak. Real weak. Jeffrey says, I just finished Miller's Masters of the Air book. Any thoughts? It's a very good comprehensive book. It's, I have my thoughts on Masters of the Air from the perspective of what the producers chose to focus on. I don't hate the series at all. Like, I know a lot of people have been criticizing the series. I don't hate the series at all. I just, because of my background in World War II and the 8th Air Force and the RAF, I just know there's a lot of amazing stories that came out of there that would be impossible to tell in a limited miniseries. So I know that the budget is impossible on something like this with all the effects and everything that needs to happen, but it's a shame that it couldn't be an ongoing series, because they could do different bomb groups throughout major seasons. Follow different bomb groups. A handful of episodes each season is about certain bomb groups and intertwining them and stuff, and that would have been incredible. But there's no way they could do that in the budget, so it's too bad. But the book is really good. Chronically Online, good to see, sir. He says, RetroBlasting, is the 2008 Indie line the last time we had any fun with Hasbro, or do you reflect on those the same as we look at the current Hasbro? Oh, no. As a matter of fact, the 2008 Indie line was a really noble effort. It just had some shortcuts in it, like the playset and stuff. And unfortunately, they indexed on Crystal Skull. They did some really, really good work in that line. They just, one, the audience wasn't there for it for indie toys yet again. And two, the movie that it was really based around was bad. So thankfully, they did make toys from the other three movies at the time. And even the Crystal Skull stuff, there's a lot of nice stuff in the Crystal Skull toys themselves. Just the movie wasn't very good. So it's a shame that line didn't continue. I think that was a legitimate effort to try and make an Indiana Jones line that would sustain itself like the Star Wars one did. I do not think that line was a layup at all. This latest round, though, with Adventure Series and Retro Collection, that was a layup. That was a weak-ass Hasbro layup right there. And it was always going to be. I said it months before they were even on shelves when they announced them. Sandico, not read Last Ronin. I'm aware of it, but I have not read it. Let me see here. We've got... will I be holding any panels this summer? I may be having if I go to Dallas, there may be a panel that I'm at. I did a panel for the showrunner of Dallas at Toylanta this year. He asked me to come to Toylanta and do a panel with him. I'm hoping that video will get posted by him at some point. Just to give you a little preview of that, the reason I want everybody to be able to see it is because Toylanta was over a week and a half before this announcement about Super 7 and Brian Flynn allegedly getting kicked to the side. And during that panel, one of the other panelists asks me my opinion of Super 7, and I go into the whole thing, and then I say Brian Flynn is a wackadoo, and you can hear the audience just kind of like get real quiet for a second. And I don't know what came over me, but I just turned to the camera that was filming the whole thing at the back of the room, and I said, "Did you get all that?" And then I said, "Let me repeat. Brian Flynn is a wackadoo." And then the audience started laughing, but I was serious. Like, I wasn't just having fun there. So I'd love for people to be able to see that, because we've got to get common sense back into the toy community. We've got to. I know that we're dealing with a lot of man children that aren't very vigilant, but we've got to get them plugged back into their own brain. Oh, thanks, Michael Corsini. I appreciate you saying that. I really do. Thank you so much. I really put a lot of work into the Patreon, because I wouldn't want to be, and I've been a part of Patreons before where they say they're going to give you a lot of stuff and then they don't give you anything, and you're just giving them money every month. And it's just like, well, what am I doing this for? And while I might not be able to land on every single thing I want to give you guys every month, I do try to give you a volume of things every month in the various tiers. So, yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, was it him that's doing it? I guess that thing succeeded, I guess. Okay, now we wait for the final product. Because remember, it's not just about the Kickstarter succeeding. It's about the product being good. And that's another hurdle. Just because a Kickstarter does well doesn't mean the product's any good. Sentinels without knee joints, anyone? Yes, Shazoom, I'm still trying to get a Power Rangers video off the ground. Yes. All right, let's see. Scott Knudsen, thank you for the super chat. He says, I genuinely love how you've internalized Winters. Never put yourself in a position to take from these men. The moment I heard it, it spoke to me when I saw Band of Brothers the first time. I was like, that is literally something that speaks to my life philosophy. That's how I feel about life in general with a lot of this stuff. I'm not a salesman. Maybe you guys have noticed, like, Toy Gains, says, Hatter succeeded because he's likable. Well, what does that mean in the grand tableau of YouTube? What does that mean? And it's very hard to suss out, because we had a YouTube consultant named Tim Schmoyer for a few video sessions many years ago. And one of the things that he said, I didn't think he ended up being worth the money. But one of the things he told us was, sometimes it just doesn't work out because people just don't like you, or they don't like your stuff. And that's just the way life is. And I'm like, I already knew that. I didn't need to pay to hear that. But yeah, it's something where when I used to work conventional jobs, it was always, I'm not somebody that like can schmooze. I'm not somebody who can, get in there with the cocktails and do the whole thing. I'm not antisocial, but I just don't have that personality. So the only thing I can provide is really hard work and really, consistent performance. And unfortunately, in corporate America, that's not what they value anymore. Never really did, I guess. Maybe in the 50s and 60s they did, but not anymore. And so now what you have is you have people who are style over substance. And I'm not a style over substance guy. I'm a substance over style guy. So when Captain Winters said that, I was like, absolutely. Like that is one of my guiding tenets in life, and I can't believe it's being said out loud where I finally recognize it. Don't put yourself in a position to take from people. That's why I always thought that YouTube would be the best platform for me, because I thought, well, I can give the best of myself in my content and my editing. And I know some people don't like me and they think I'm horrible, whatever. But as far as like my work and my content, they're still resentful that my videos are good. So I give the best of myself, and that's my ability to give to you all. And what you give back is your views and sometimes your proactive support, where you're demanding a Patreon or stuff. That's humbling to me. But I don't pimp it. I don't push it. Yeah, I love that line. I love that line so much. Well, I agree with you, TR. Everybody in the chat or on the stream right now, hear me now. Okay. As of many moons ago, I changed my policy on all of this, because even though toy channels out there can talk about Hasbro announcements and Mattel announcements and NECA announcements and Super 7 announcements over a year before any of these things come out, Mezco, Mafex, all of that stuff, you can't apparently talk about independent toy makers' efforts without getting blamed for their screw-ups, which I don't know why. Like, nobody blames YouTubers for Hasbro screw-ups, but if an independent toy maker screws up, they will spin conspiracy theories that you're in business with them, that it's a con job, that you're getting kickbacks, blah, 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 blah. It's insanity. So I finally had it last year. And I said, that's it. I'm not talking about any independent toy ever again until it's on a shelf or in inventory, ready to buy. Like, no pre-order, no Kickstarter, no nothing. Just like, is it in your inventory right now? And if I pay the money, will you ship the thing within like 48 hours? That's the only time I'm going to talk about independent toys from now on, because I'm sick of everybody else's BS out there in the community pulling this massive double standard. It amazes me that toy YouTubers will pay the price for the sins of an independent toy maker, but they will never pay the price for being hype men for the biggest toy companies in the world. It's unreal, unbelievable. It's why I always pay for my stuff too. I always pay for everything that I review, and they don't want that. That's why they constantly say that I'm secretly in league and in business with these guys and stuff, because if they bothered to acknowledge that, then their narrative would break down. Let's see. That Steven, that's high praise. Irvin Kirshner of YouTube. First, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Is there a toy that you would love that was never actually produced? Toy I would love that was never actually produced. Yeah, you put me on the spot. I'm having a hard time coming up with one. I'm having a really hard time coming up with a toy that hasn't been produced. Like, not saying that there isn't one. I know they are. It's just I can't think of any right off the top of my head right now. I know they're right there. They're right there. Well, you know what I would really love that really they've been done, but they've been done poorly. And I know that's technically dodging around your question a little bit. I really would love an extremely good articulated, scale world build of all the classic Tomb Raider games and all the characters, not just Lara, because all the lines ever do is Lara. I want all the characters and all the stuff, but I know that's a massive pipe dream. It's never going to happen. Muslim Uncle, thank you for the kind super chat. He says, is the 3 3/4-inch fan-made carbon freezing chamber for sale? From what I understand, Joe has had some family issues happen, and he has scaled back his 3D printing side business for now. I hope to goodness that everything works out for him with that, and that he comes back soon. I know for a fact that he shut everything down. He didn't take anybody's money because he doesn't do pre-orders or Kickstarters. He does made to order. So everybody's solid in that regard. But it's a shame that he's not out there right now in the space, and I miss him dearly. I am going to be, as soon as the pollen is over here in Atlanta, I'll be able to do the final finishing on my freeze chamber and show everybody what it looks like finally. But he's such a mad scientist guy. I love him to death. And I hope he comes back and keeps making more stuff because he's such a cool dude. Let's see. I don't think anybody really likes Zaslav. I think it's just copium, like the people who like Chapek. Yeah, I agree. Troy. I really agree. Thank you, Moonlight. Yeah, all I've got is my honesty and some humor and a few voices and my willingness to do a video like I did on April 1st. My philosophy, I've said this 100 times, my philosophy on YouTube, and it's been this way since the very beginning with that first Thundercats video, if you're making content decisions based on fear of something that you could lose, in other words, if you feel like you have something to lose before you make a piece of content, then you've already lost. The moment you start getting safe with your content, you die. The moment you start trying to retain every subscriber and kiss every subscriber's ass when they get mad at you about something, you die. Like, to me, it's gross to see that happen. And it works for some channels. It actually does. I actually had a guy recently, I heard about it from Scott Hughes. Some jerkwad did some video where he was complaining about me. And he said that YouTube is customer service. And, Michael's terrible at customer service. And I'm like, a customer is somebody who exchanges, money for the product or service. Like a flashlight. I always love to, I don't know why I always default to flashlights. It's like a flashlight, right? And so for me, I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, YouTube, aside from a few skippable ads that I can't control at the beginning, I don't do mid-roll ads because I can control them. they're not in my videos. Anytime you're on another toy channel and you see a bunch of ads in the middle of a 15-minute video, try and remember, if I go to a RetroBlasting video, the only ads might be at the front, and that's it. Until YouTube forces us to do it, I won't do it. But when it comes to that, I guess my whole thing is I'm just trying to create the best videos possible, and do it in a way where you guys get great free entertainment. In other words, the quality can't be beat and the honesty can't be denied. And you're also getting the seamless as possible YouTube experience, because I put a lot of work into these videos. The last thing I want is YouTube constantly trying to harass me to interrupt my own videos for the sake of making you guys mad. So yeah, I don't know if that's a satisfying answer or not, but I like Jim and the Hologram Scarecrow. Never had a problem with them. Never really had them as dolls, but I like them. Let's see. Well, it's not so much the camera getting wonky. The remaster, Brian, it's not the camera's getting wonky in the play control on remaster that's the problem. It's the fact that you can't hop backwards to set yourself up for jumps. It's impossible, which that's all that game is. Let's see. Shame on you, Michael, for keeping Kylie partially obscured in this stream. Sorry about that. Here, let me fix that for you. How's that? I'll leave her up there for a while so that you can see her. Okay. I think I've got some. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I have not seen Frozen Empire yet. I have not seen it yet. Let's see. I haven't found a version of Abagus that's actually subtitled. I'd really like to find a subtitled version of that. I would love to watch that. I hope there's a Band of Brothers or a Masters of the Air box set. I will buy it. I still want Band of Brothers on 4K. Grandmaster Popo, thank you so much for the kind super chat. Hey, Michael, much love. Thank you for keeping it real. You're welcome. Thoughts on Storm Collectibles, Ken the Eagle, and Dashin Brave Star. Also, James Gunn DCU thoughts. Well, thoughts on Storm Collectibles, I would kill to have their Golden Axe trio. I would love to have the three main heroes from Golden Axe. They look amazing. The prices are crazy, even when they were first brand new. So I won't be getting those, but I love them. I absolutely love them. The Dwarf, Tyrus Flare, and the Barbarian, I would love to have those. I think Storm Collectibles does some really great work. I don't know about Ken the Eagle, and is Dasin Brave Star? That's not the ramen thing, is it? I'm not sure which one that is. As far as James Gunn's DCU thoughts, he's got an uphill battle ahead of him because the DCU is in a hell of a quandary. The DCU is a mess. It's never found its footing. It's been tripping since Man of Steel. And when I say Man of Steel, I don't mean that Man of Steel was good and then it started tripping. Man of Steel was the first tumble out of the gate. It's just a mess. So if he can turn it around, great. But the fact that they've still been pushing out the last vestiges of the Snyderverse and the messed up DCU films like The Flash in the interim and Aquaman 2, that doesn't bode well. They needed to have a multi-year gap, give it a break, let people's brains flush and reset. And they haven't done that because they're desperate to recoup that money. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes. I don't. You've said before the fall of the comics toy industry started when it stopped prioritizing kids. Have you ever thought about making a video? I would like to, Bronze Age. I really would. Now that there's been that article that came out last year or the year before, I can't remember, confirming it, the NBC article, and now it's totally proven that in that debate I was right and he was wrong, and blown a bunch of hot shit. Then I feel a little better about doing that. I'll think about that. Patreon's a way for me to support your channel. If you did nothing else but what you publish on here, oh, that's very kind, Troy. Thank you. Thank you, George. Thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, love the channel, Mr. French. You're the best. Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, George. And thank you for being here tonight. Holy crap. What is this? Stephen Morgan sends 100 pounds. First of all, I don't even know what to say, except thank you. Second of all, as you know, big UK guy here, favorite country in the world. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Stephen. Hey, Michael, loved your Indiana Jones review and enjoyed your live stream with Tony about the indie game. Please use this super chat to either buy the new game or if needed to upgrade your PC. Take care and keep up the great work. Cheers. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. My mind is kind of blown at the moment. And I'm sorry that it took me this long to get to this super chat. I didn't know it, but I assume you might be running off to bed or have already done so. So maybe you'll scrub back and see my response. But yeah, thank you. I was thinking about like how I was gonna, test the waters with it, because I would definitely play that game on a PC. I didn't want to go buy an Xbox or anything like that, although ultimately that might be the cheaper route. But the fact that you clearly want me to be able to play that game, possibly for content for the channel, I consider it done. I will find a way to play that game, and I will do a video for this channel about that game. And thank you for appreciating the Indiana Jones content, because Indiana Jones has always been this really super popular thing that also happens to kind of be, it's well known and people love it, but they don't buy the merch and they don't get into it when it's available. And so Indy just becomes this kind of lost franchise with a lot of lost potential. So the fact that you appreciate Indiana Jones like Tony and I do is unbelievably cool, and also just I can't believe how generous this I will not let you down, Stephen. I will do whatever it takes for this PC to run it properly. Although my RAM is maxed out, this might be the beginning of buying the next PC or something. And this is certainly a good start to do that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm humbled. Okay, let's see. What's your opinion of the Indiana Jones Adventure series? Matt, you will find that out in a little while. I'm working on a video about that. Thank you for saying that, Sarah. Nobody with a quarter of a brain thinks you're in cahoots with any toy companies. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you, LJ. Appreciate you saying that. Thank you, LJ Costanzo. Appreciate you saying that. Oh, Vickman, like I said before, these are literal floppy disks thanks to Master Son. These are coasters. All right. The Blob action figure line. You mean like a Steve McQueen? That'd be fun. LJ Costanzo, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, just to show my appreciation for the RetroBlasting content. Well, thank you. Then thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Randall, good point. Last Starfighter would be great. Randall. That's a good point for toys. Danger Girl action figures. That's a good one to mention. Good call, Drew. Good call. They had action figures, but they were just statues, really. Affordable statues. Please help us convince Bobby to make Danger Girl figures. I'll do my best. I promise I will. I'll do my best. So KBA wants Lady Gaga from Silverhawks. I can understand that. I just don't think that the Super 7 figures are all that great so far. And I would want them vac metalized, and the prices they want for just that first couple of vac metals is pornographic. They really need to rein in Brian Flynn. Okay, so there's a store called Holocron. Vintage Black Series 1. Okay, I will. Thank you for the recommendation, Not Top Goon. That's very helpful. Thank you. Let's see. Ooh, why stop at asking Valaverse to make Danger Girl? Go the distance and ask him to make a line for Kandagawa Jet Girls. Yes. Yes. 100% yes. I'm behind you on that one, Moonlight. Ra. Good to see you, man. Good to see you here, sir. Always glad to see you. And Don Miles is here too. Holy crap. Good to see you both. Good to see you both. It's always a complete live stream when you guys are here. I love it when Michael scolds people on Instagram. The best. Have you ever noticed that Instagram is like it is the Glass Joe of social media platforms. Do you guys remember Glass Joe, the first opponent in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Like, he's the easiest one to knock down. Like, all of those guys on Instagram, that, like, okay, so like if you get into it in the comments on YouTube with somebody, right? And you like go back and forth. It's like the Star Wars Cantina, right? Where you get into a fight with a guy and maybe you like, you knock him out. And everybody kind of looks over and sees what's happening, and then the music kicks in and everybody goes back to their drinks. That's YouTube. Everybody's used to it. On Instagram, when somebody shows up and they start like putting their finger in your chest and they start needling you in the comments and being an ass, and you pop them, suddenly all these people just like, they like do like this, and they're like, oh my God. And they all run at the same time. They're all like, they all unfollow you. You get like 7 to 11 unfollows for every fight you get into with one jerk bag on Instagram. They're like posturing and like standing up for some zero that they don't even know, because it's some kind of Instagram culture thing. It is weak sauce. Like, it is, it's fun to watch, but at the same time, it's baffling. It's just like, why do you guys care? Why do you want to defend that guy? I'm sure they'd say it's something about customer service. Whatever. I started YouTube in 2007, literally just for somewhere to put my videos so I could show people my videos without having to carry DVDs around. Good point. Good point. I'm also tired of the one where he's like, hi, Ryan Reynolds here with Mint Mobile. I was in the legal department the other day and asked them if it was, legal to raise prices on customers. It's like, if I see that one, I've seen the beginning of that ad like at least 115 times. Well, Mike, the problem with your attitude is when you're using an ad block, people who actually do this for a living are getting shortchanged by Google. In other words, you're preventing Google from paying us our small percentage of the work that we did for the video on the platform. Now, you can go do that all you want, but the only time that that's acceptable in the eyes of the average YouTuber is if you're also subscribed to the Patreon that person is, because at least you're saying, I support your work, I just don't want to support ads. But if you're just freeloading and just trying to find convenience, that's your prerogative. But it doesn't mean that your best interests are for the future of the creators on the platform. And that sucks. So, yeah, this is one that I had, Troy, this is one that I had commissioned. I'm sorry. The shirt that I have that's her as Lara was commissioned from the same artist that did that photograph or that painting. So he did that first, and I saw it, and I bought a print of it from him. I was like, are you going to do prints and t-shirts of this? He said, yes. And I quickly bought some. and then Redbubble like shut that particular product down because Disney got all mad, even though it's transformative artwork, but Disney got angry. So apparently I'm the only person in the world that has t-shirts and a print of that, which is framed, that's professionally framed. So yeah, I love that painting. And then I asked him to do the Lara Croft Kylie as well. I've heard it's boring, Derek. I've heard it's pretty boring. All films prove their existence by existing. What are you talking about? If a film exists, it exists. Therefore, it has proven its existence. There is a China O'Brien 1. There is a China O'Brien 2. They exist regardless of how you feel about them. So what are you saying? Films don't have to prove their existence. They do that by default. You have to ask yourself if the money grab movies are entertaining. I personally don't think they are. But you go ahead and keep filling the coffers of the worst writers in Hollywood history. Be my guest. I'm dying to watch it. I'm dying to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. Dying to watch it, though. KBA, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, love the Jet Girls video. Thank you. You do great humor videos. Much appreciated. Especially that time you convinced everyone that made a place called Australia was real. Yeah, that was fun. Everybody acting like Australia was fake. Even as they tried to say that Brent's sail barge was fake and that it was really mine. Let's see what we got here. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. Thank you again. I'm blown away. Please tell me that photo of you next to all those boxes is fake. No, it ain't fake. It ain't fake at all. Not at all. That's how far I've gone into this to try and make all this work, to figure all this out. And I've got some real zingers. I've got some real zingers to show you about things they could have just simply kit bashed from pre-existing characters to try and fill out some of the line a little more. But it was a mess. It was a huge layup mess. You'll see it all in the video. I will get you, Steven, I will get you a review of that game. I will get you a review. Thank you again for showing your confidence and belief in this channel like you did. I will get a review. I will get you a review. I'm losing my words. I'm glad to hear that, Jason, because I did max out the RAM on this machine. It has an i9 processor. I bought ahead on the processor, and I have 128 gigabytes of RAM, and I have a pretty good gigabyte graphics card on it, brand Gigabyte. So I'm hoping it can do it. It may require a graphics card upgrade. Maybe. We'll see. You're too kind, Steven. You are too kind. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can't wait either. I got to write that script. It's going to kick my ass. But I can't wait to write it. I'm writing the Star Wars thing first. And then here's the thing. So I feel like Retro Collection Indiana Jones should come first because I've bought in on all of those because they were on clearance to do that, because people have been begging me for both the Adventure series and the Retro Collection videos, which I wasn't going to do either because I didn't hardly buy any of them. But now that I've been politely pestered into doing them all, which one should come first? I feel like Retro Collection should be like the preamble to the Adventure series because the Retro Collection is smaller. What are your thoughts, everybody? Should Adventure series come first or Retro Collection come first? No holes barred. Give me your opinion. Would love to know what you think. LJ Costanzo, thank you so much again for the kind super chat. Glad I can sit in on this one. I'm glad you're here too. Thank you for being here. I forgot that I actually got a live stream for once. Well, I'm glad you're here, Hot Rod. I mean, I think they would have to, Shockwave, but that's just me. Does a film, thank you for the super chat, Keith Holmesley. Does a film have to prove its existence or can it be a money? Wait a minute. Didn't I just answer this question? Okay, Keith, I think you saw the answer before you saw your super chat, but thank you for the super chat. And thank you for your help. By the way, everybody, Keith was an amazing help on the Indiana Jones Adventure Series video. So as much as he likes to pester me, he also, puts his principles where his mouth is when it comes to getting videos to happen, even if he doesn't agree with me. Keith was extremely helpful in helping me with a major part of something I observed about the Adventure Series. So I want to thank Keith for that while he's in the chat. But yes, see my previous answer about that. Let's see. All right. What do we got here? What is going on? Keith says, Michael, I mean, can a film necessarily have to move the story along as a sequel, or can it just be? I mean, yeah, if you want it to look, if you want it to be a standalone movie that's either great or trashy, that's fine. Something doesn't have to be a sequel. It can be trashy, but what you were saying was, does a film have to prove its existence? And I was like, well, they all do by default. So yeah, no. I get what you're trying to say, but no, you can have a movie that's just flat out entertaining. Kandagawa Jet Girls, as an example. I just saw, holy crap, Zocab. Holy crap. I saw how humble the super chat made you. You were so appreciated on here and on Patreon. You're a big part of our lives. I have no real life friends to share this part of my life with. You and Tony are the type of guys that mean so much to me. So blessed to be part of your community. Zocab, first of all, the fact that I know you're on Patreon and that you support the channel and then doing that, first of all, thank you for being here year after year. You are a name that I always recognize, and I always see you there in the live chats and everything else. I appreciate the fact that you get me. I appreciate the fact that you get what I'm doing with this channel and what I'm trying to say. And I look like I'm peeking over the super chat like Wilson. I'm blown away by the generosity of this community. Just like I said, Keith Holmesley, he was looking out for me one day and he said, do you need a Last Crusade Adventure Series indie? I said, yeah, I do. He said, it's on the way. Do I got a stack of boxes here that's going to prove the generosity of this toy community. And I didn't ask for any of this stuff. People just want to give. And I like giving the best of myself back to this community as well. I started this channel to make videos that I wanted to see because I didn't think the toy YouTube space, there are too many toy tubers and there are not enough YouTubers who make video content about toys and pop culture. And that's a totally different thing. There are too many people that just turn on a webcam and jabber. While that's what I'm doing tonight, I don't do it very often. So I appreciate the fact that you get what I'm trying to do. And I'm humbled by the level of support that you show me on Patreon and that you've shown me here. I don't know what to say. And the fact that you didn't even, I mean, I don't have words. This has been a crazy live stream, like in a good way, but thanks everyone. Sorry, I'm just kind of lost right now. But Um, I am making some really kick-ass videos right now in the background. The Star Wars one is going to be one for the books. It's not a Star Wars Follies. It's its own standalone feature that's about a thing that's not a folly. And then the Indiana Jones Adventure series. I've got a video that I've been working on with Scott Hughes for a while that is going to be a little esoteric to some of you, but no less effort went into it. All the effort that went into it was Scott. I have to now do my job and make the video. Scott Hughes did all the work on this one. He should be commended. But I've got some really unique and informative videos coming out that I'm really passionate about. And they're the kind of videos that aren't getting made in this space, and I want to see them get made. Again, if you come at your content with the attitude of, I have something to lose if I make this, you've lost. We were joking. Scott Hughes and I were joking on the phone one night. And I was describing to him what was going to be the April Fool's video. I told him what it was, what I'd found. And he laughed so hard. And he said, man, no other YouTube channel in this community would do anything like that except possibly Tony Roberts. And I was like, I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're right. That doesn't mean that it's going to be everybody's jam. But what it does mean is that RetroBlasting is not Groundhog Day. I will never be Groundhog Day for you. I will keep making things that surprise you. I will keep making things that you might even disagree with, but at least it'll provide a new perspective. And I'll always do it at the best of my game. I will always give you every bit of effort that I have. And I won't dishonor this super chat by doing any less. So thank you, Zocab. Really, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh man. Flavio, thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, big fan from Brazil. Big fan of Brazil. Great to see you. I'm so blown away sometimes by obviously YouTube is global, but I'm always blown away by the international audience that this channel's been able to harness. I'd give anything if I could have been able to say that by now I'd done a Glaslite video or something like that. I don't have access to that stuff, but I'm aware of it. You guys in Brazil have gotten some amazing toys over the decades that were based on all kinds of properties. You guys got amazing Japanese cartoons translated over there that we never got. So the South American and particularly the Brazilian toy market and toy history is fascinating, and I would love to get into it more. It's just a matter of access. But thank you for being here tonight. Thank you so much. And it's great to put a face with a name. Thank you so much, and thank you for the support of the channel. So Kev, don't, sir, don't, please don't. Thanks, Kato. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was good. It was good to hang out with you too. It was good to see you. Yeah, exactly. Chronically, you keep it to a rare occasion. Exactly. Gary Michael Bartko, thank you for the kind super chat. He says, big fan of your channel. Question: with the 90s pop culture in full retro effect and the popularity of X-Men 97, do you think we will see more continuations of other popular 90s shows like Batman the Animated Series or Spider-Man the Animated Series? Well, Warner Brothers might dip back into that if they're smart or desperate, because their animated arm has really fallen off with DC. Spider-Man the Animated Series, that would be cool to see. I really liked the Spectacular Spider-Man one, but unfortunately, Sony's aspirations for that got kiboshed when Disney bought Marvel Comics or Marvel Studios. And at that point, they canceled Spectacular Spider-Man for their crappy Ultimate Spider-Man show. Spectacular Spider-Man was like the Firefly of Spider-Man cartoons. It should have gone on longer, and we won't get any resolution on that, which sucks. Let's see. Yep, that's it, Don. Michael, you have that toy Voltron in the background, and you have a film background. Why don't you make a video? Yep, Melinda is the person that did RetroBlasting, meaning like she came up with the idea for it, and she did the legwork to make the channel happen. Thank you, Jags. Thank you. That's very, very kind. RetroBlasting will never be Groundhog Day, but Michael may steal a truck and a groundhog and drive around a little bit once for that. I'm not sure what that is, Knights of Old. Genuinely, I don't know what that is. What's that all about? Well, right, Matt, but that's all part of the whole Kylie thing, right? Like, you know, Kylie has one of the best cabooses in the business, so of course she always wears the hot pants, just like she did on Spinning Around video. So I like to believe that the gold lame hot pants are just underneath that Tatooine tunic. Oh, thank you, Lester, for the kind super chat. He says your hard work shines in the content you give us. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really hoping that you're going to love the stuff coming up in the next few weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know what I just realized? Oh, hey, Jesus, good to see you, man. Oh, Mike, good to see you. It was good to see you at Toylanta as well. We have aged well, I'd like to think. My hairline's backed up a little bit, but we have aged well. If you go back to 2016 and you see your photograph, you'll see like more hair, like right there, I think. Thank God I really love dress hats. That's all I'll say. Taking notes on what, Christian? You mean just my videos in general? We speculated on that for a while in regard to, what was it? What video was it that I did? Tony talked about it a while back. There was a video I did, and then suddenly, like a year later, Hasbro did something, and they, it seemed like they had seen my video or something like that. It seemed, it could have been. Yeah, Monty, thank you for the super chat. Her appearance in Moulin Rouge is the reason I watched that video or that movie. No disrespect to the rest of the film, just that's what got me there. I did not know that, Knights of Old. I wasn't aware of his channel. I didn't know. I'm sorry to hear that. But I honestly didn't know him or his content, so I apologize. All right, I tell you what, let's forehead's getting bigger as your brain expands. All the toy information. Yeah, expanding out backward where it's hurting my neck chronically now. Thanks, Chiari syndrome. How about we open up a few mystery boxes since we are hour 43 into this? Okay, this one here is from Nevada. Oh, I went blurry. All right, hold on. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to fix my camera. Dumb camera. All right, thank you, camera, for being decent. All right, now let's see what's in here. This is one of those where we've been having a lot of mail issues in the United States lately, so anything that we have shipped to us or whatever, sometimes it takes months now to get, because that's what they call an efficiency plan. All right, this is from Hey RetroBlasting. Here is an Imperial Guard for your collection, I promised you. Also included are some vintage Star Wars trading cards. We were just talking about trading cards. And also $20 to help expedite the repairs to DV. Always enjoy your channel. Keep it up. Sincerely, Bob. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, sir. And what do we have here? We have, true to his word, we have vintage Star Wars trading cards from across the 3 films, and a Revenge of the Sith era Royal Guard. Hey, chronically, we were talking about these lines on the phone the other day, weren't we? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, what do we got here? Oh, this is the one from Troy and Netter. I think I know what this is. Jesus, the Mattel Motu TMNT crossover line is another useless experience. Like I get that they're all just now trying to team up with one another to try and make that last bit of money before they go into oblivion as companies, but I really don't understand the point of that mashup. But then again, I'm probably just a grumpy, and so what do I know? I just think it's kind of a weird cash grab, if you want my honest opinion. Okay, let go of the tape with the thing. Oh my gosh. I think this is Troy and Netter saving me from Warner Brothers DVD rot oblivion. Michael, hope this finds you well and quickly. Saw your DVD rot video. I think I said discs. Did I say discs 2 and 5? Either way, I'll check and make sure. As a matter of fact, I can check right now. What am I talking about? Oh, no, you just misprinted. Your disc 4 is in here and disc 2. Perfect. Dude, thank you so much. These are the two I need. Discs 2 and 4. Thanks a million for this. Look at that. He even printed the artwork on them. Holy crap. Thank you, Troy and Netter. Thank you, Troy and Netter. Thank you both. Right. I will do that. Thank you for the super chat. Troy, you didn't have to do that. I will free up that space on the Dropbox. I promise. I will. I promise. Thank you so much. Thank you for this, both of you. Love you both. And thank you so much. All right. What do we have here? This is from Amazon Fulfillment Services. Wonder what this is. If there was a TMNT Kandagawa Jet Girls crossover, it would definitely need to err on the side of the Kandagawa Jet Girls proportions and not the Ninja Turtle action figure proportions. That would just be my preference. Oh, wow. This is from... Oh, it's from Scott Knudsen. I know there's a good chance you already have this, but I figure you can't pass it along if that's the case. If you haven't read it yet, I think you'll find it's up your alley. I do not have this book, Scott. The true story of a B-17 gunner's heroism and the bloodiest military campaign in aviation history, Inferno. This is one, yeah, I will be reading this one 100%. 100%. Thank you so much for sending this. This is going to be a good read. Oh, thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. B-17s is where my World War II history interest started. I got very, very close to the whole 8th Air Force experience, and I was the pilot seat of the actual Memphis Belle. I've moved the Memphis Belle's flaps. The real one, not the one that flies around to the air shows, the one that's now in Dayton, Ohio, and you understandably can't get inside it anymore. and never really could before. But my grandfather had friends who ran the association, so they got me in there. Anyway, high moment of my life. I got photo evidence. It's like a thing. So thank you so much for this. Jesus, I haven't yet watched Godzilla -1. I'm hoping that it will come out on 4K soon or Blu-ray so that I can watch it. Cute Fluff is in the house. Good to see you, Cute Fluff. Okay, next box. This one is from my good friend Adrian from that fake place called Australia. Adrian is an in-person friend of mine. We met during the whole barge fiasco. Yes, Don, my boredom is officially gone. I mean, this live stream, bro. I mean, it's amazing. It's sick, bro. It's sick. Look at the super chats. Look at everything going on. Oh my God. Yeah. Look out for the pollen. It's going to kill us all. Adrian always surprises me with a parcel every now and then. And I have no idea what he's sending half the time. He says, "Hi, Michael and Melinda. Hope this note and package finds you well. Please enjoy this care package from Down Under. The items branded Sweet William are for Melinda, and everything else is for Michael. In case it isn't clear, all the best. Regards, Adrian." Adrian, love you, man. Good to see you, or hope to see you again. It was good to see your Indiana Jones stuff coming together. Send me some more photos on that if you see this. If you see this. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Tim Tams upon Tim Tams upon Tim Tams, which is a good thing. Tim Tams, Tim Tams, Sweet William, dairy-free chocolate bunny. 'Tis the Easter season. A Sweet William dairy-free chocolate Easter egg. And a Cadbury Dairy Milk egg with the rabbit. Oh, Adrian, you kind man. Thank you so much for sending this. My waistline really doesn't need it right now, but I might not be able to as I knock my... Sorry about that, everyone. I knocked my microphone over. Sorry about that. Am I still coming in loud and clear? Because I clearly almost messed up the entire world there. Okay, yeah. So, putting these away. Adrian, thank you so much. These will not go to waste. Sorry, everybody. I accidentally hit the microphone. It's in a new position near because we changed the orientation of the webcam, and so it's. Am I loud enough again? Am I loud enough again, or did something happen? Is it back? Is my audio back? Is it back? Is it back? Is it back? I'm talking as loud as I did before. Slightly. Great. That okay, audio's good. Okay. All right, good. All right, fine. Great. Okay. All right. Next up. This is the one from the UK. This is from somebody named Tony, but not the Tony that we all think of when I say the name Tony. This, what is in here? Uh-oh. We got books. Siege, from the Battle of Britain to Japan's domination of the Far East. Ooh, the Dam Busters raid. Ooh, even better. Band of Eagles. In Mediterranean skies, they fought to save an island fortress, a novel of fighter pilots in World War II. I see Spitfires, my favorite thing. And we have Flames of War, the World War II miniatures game. I assume this is the rule book. And a book on operation I'm very familiar with, Operation Mincemeat, the true spy story that changed the course of World War II. Dang, I got a lot of books to read. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much for sending these. It was very kind for you to send these all the way from Old Blighty. Oh, man. Okay, so this box is from Jeremy Kerr. The reason I'm looking a little like, oh no, is the last time Jeremy sent me something, it was an original piece of an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade stunt tank. So now I never know what Jeremy is going to send. All bets are off. Take a bite of the chocolate bunny. Can do. Oh my gosh. Vickman, thank you so much for the kind super chat. Love to you, sir. Hope you're doing well in Mexico. That I didn't mean that the way it came out. I mean, hope you're doing well in Mexico. Like, thank you so much for the first super chat, and thank you so much for being here. Muchas gracias. All right. Oh, they're little. Okay, good. They're little bunnies. All right, here we go. He's sending you the whole tank one piece at a time. That's funny. No, it's the bunny that's not dairy. These are dairy. So these I can eat. That's good. All right. Cute Fluff, if you were here, I'd give you a chocolate bunny. All right. Please open the package fully before opening the letter. Thank you. He's done it again. Jeremy Kerr has done something. No, Sam, I will never do ASMR. I will never do ASMR. I can't stand it. Ugh. Okay, so I'm going to open the package fully before opening the letter. Jeremy, to paraphrase Winston Zeddemore from Ghostbusters, what did you do, Ray? Actually, I just quoted him. The paraphrase would be, what did you do, Jeremy? Or as the British would say, what did you do, Jezza? Oh no, what did he do? What did he do? Oh, wow. Okay, so Albagas is coming sub to Blu-ray. Oh, standard definition, end of May. I'll still get it. Thank you for the update. I've been dying to see that show. Thank you. Okay. So he sent me a vintage Ever-Ready flashlight. So now I need to find out what this is all about. Hello, Michael. As you might have guessed by now, you are now the proud owner of Gypsy's Eye. I've been looking for one of the... Oh my gosh. I've been looking for one of these for quite some time, and about a month ago, I was lucky enough to find not one, but two of them. And since you also have both Crow and Servo, I thought you might like to one day put the whole gang together, of course. Of course, how you go about acquiring Joel or Mike is none of my concern. Unfortunately, the car seat required to finish the old girl remains out of my reach and price range, as the last one sold on eBay went for around $575. Fortunately, this means I have reached such levels of aggravation that I am close to attempt building one myself. And if that happens, if I make one out of fiberglass, I'll definitely keep you in mind. With that being said, I hope you enjoy Gypsy's Eye. And in the off chance you already have this piece, feel free to pass it along. No, I don't. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Who's in the search for one, or use it for its intended purpose, as it does still work. P.S. Melinda, I would like to take a moment to apologize for the rabbit hole I may be sending Michael down. Please forgive me, Jeremy Kerr. Jeremy, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Alex asks an interesting question. Michael, do you ever feel that you're forced to do edgy or controversial videos on purpose in order to keep relevant on YouTube, especially because of the algorithm? No, not particularly. I know there are a number of YouTubers that stay sort of controversial and kind of outraging people and stuff. Yeah, this flashlight is the eye of Gypsy from Mystery Science Theater 3000. So this is the part they used to make her eye when Gypsy was on screen. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Yeah, so I don't really feel the need to do that. YouTube certainly rewards controversy, but I'd like to have a little bit more dignity about myself, and so I prefer to only talk about those things when I feel like I have an insight to impart or something like a perspective to really deliver on. I don't feel the need to like triple and quadruple down on that, because I've got all this other weird pop culture stuff I want to talk about that isn't controversial at all. It's just weird. So no, I don't feel any pressure to do that. Although there are times where those videos, when I do feel the need to do them, it is always nice that they do well. But I'm also proud of my channel for not doing that all the time, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. Oh, this is also... Oh, yeah, this is Servo's shoulder. That's right. Holy crap. Yeah, this flashlight is the big square battery. 80s, baby. Okay. Yes, I am. Super excited, KBA. Yes, I am. No, World Made of Cardboard. I don't think it has. I think Final Sacrifice is still my favorite. Although, I will say that even though I didn't really like the modern Mystery Science Theater at first, because the jokes kept coming too fast, I feel like they finally got better with that. And some of the later movies have actually been pretty watchable. I'm not wild about some of the voice changes on the robots, but there is a history from the beginning of changing the voices on the robots. And so some of those movies of the later modern run were actually pretty funny. But I need to watch more of them consistently, and I haven't done so yet. Master Son, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to send Mike some tubs. I think if I did, he would give me a stern lecture. Worth it. Yeah, you probably just want me to what? Put them in my Jeep? I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't. That is a weird and dumb trend, and I don't know how it got started, but every Jeep Wrangler owner should be ashamed. I won't do it. Michael needs a what? What did that say? Michael needs to do a what? You lost sound and didn't hear my response. What I said was, if you send me those, I will not put them on my Jeep Wrangler. I will not do it. Okay? And Jeep Wrangler owners should be ashamed of themselves for making that a thing. But I won't do it. And you can't make me. You might be able to make me go to Dallas because I wouldn't put that past you. But I'll stand my ground before a Tubbs gets in my Jeep. Just saying. Mike, I don't understand the Jeep ducks. When did this become a thing? Did Tubbs suddenly figure out that the only way they were going to sell those was to try and convince Jeep people to buy them? I think awful. Monty, 2001. Thank you so much for the kind super chat. He says, rest in peace, Joe Flaherty, by the way. Remember him most from Back to the Future, too. I did not know he passed. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry to hear that. Robert Diaz, thank you for the super chat. Michael needs to do a review of Homies toys. I don't think I've heard of those. What are those? Oh, do tell. They can go straight to the claw game, Philip. You're absolutely right. All right. This is from Ryan. Not Ryan Laserpants, different Ryan. This is the last box of the night. Oh, I know what this is. I bet I know what this is. Ryan has been an absolute mensch in helping me track down the Top Cow Tomb Raider books, comic books. And I had a few more that I'm still trying to chase down. And of course, he packed them expertly, which is a compliment, by the way. All right, what do we have here? So I hit myself in the face. Okay, we have cardboard backboards. And now we have the books. Okay, so we have a sealed, unopened Top Cow Tomb Raider Wizard Special Edition. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. We have, what is this? He has double boarded these like a pro. We have the free comic book day Tomb Raider issue, which I did not have. Thank you, sir. Let's see. We have something else that he double boarded all of these because he wanted all of this to show up perfect. Oh, he found Epiphany. This is a one-off called Epiphany that I didn't have. Thank you so much. Alex, yeah, it's Lara, Lara. And yes, everybody notices that. However, if you haven't seen Kandagawa Jet Girls, go watch that. It'll make you forget about Lara. All right. We have the Wizard number half Witchblade Tomb Raider team up. definitely didn't have that one. Which one is this? We have. Oh yeah, this is that weird one. This was toward the end of the run, and for some reason, they did this one-off called Tomb Raider Arabian Nights, which I don't even understand like why they would do that. That was weird. But I'll be interested to see what exactly they did with it. This is these are the ones with the painted covers. Okay, so this is the preview, the Top Cow 2001 preview of Tomb Raider Greatest Treasure of All. So there's that one. That's the preview edition of that book. And then what do we have here? We have. Oh yeah, dude, Daybreaker. Yeah, it was crazy. Like it was hilarious. Like I was trying to get that, and then you go on the item page, and then underneath the item page it says, "Would you like? We recommend these 4 things," and it was like Casablanca and like a 4K of Dragon Slayer and something else that was totally normal, and then it was this DVD or this Blu-ray with these anime girls on it. They were fully clothed, like it didn't look salacious, but the title that was in plain text under the link, I just started laughing. When you see a title, Kandagawa Jet Girls, it's just like, okay, that's got to be hilarious. I got to know. Like, I've got to see that. Logic Blaster, thank you so much for the kind super chat. Michael, are you planning on doing more collaborations with Analog Toys? I love it when you guys do something together. Yes, we're always open to doing collaborations. War Stories is coming back soon. Tony and I recently collaborated on his channel on a live stream. But if you're talking about finished videos, I'm always open to doing finished video work with him. So I'll talk with Tony and see what we can get going. Master Son, thank you for the super chat. He says, okay, Dallas, Fort Worth, yes. Tubbs, no. I got what I wanted. Oh, Master Son plays the long game. Master Son's playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. That's what's going on here. Look, I'm going to do my best to get there. Okay. I'm going to do my best. All right. So here we have the Joe Jusko painted cover for the actual full Tomb Raider Greatest Treasure of All starring Lara Croft right there. These are in really good condition. Yeah, Michael, that is true. Lara Croft does sound like a great crossover member of Valaverse Action Force. You're right. All right. I'd buy a Valaverse action figure of Lara Croft. I'd buy 20 of them. Oh, and here is. Okay, so this one was the other preview, special limited edition Prelude. This is the Prelude. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. This is the preview. This is why this line is so hard to collect. This is the preview. This is the Prelude. And this is the actual book. Apparently, it's Lara and a lion on a great adventure together. I don't know if the lion's actually on the adventure or not. I've not been to the Derby convention yet. I'd love to go, but I've not been. No, it wasn't your spelling, sir. It was just that a lot of people don't realize that her name is actually Lara. Most people would assume Laura. As a matter of fact, they wanted to call her Laura. That's what they wanted to do. And then for some reason, they thought that it would be harder for Americans to say Laura than it would Lara. And they bet wrong, because most Americans have a harder time saying Lara than they do Laura. Oops. Thank God it's not Lara and a horse. That'll be the next April Fool's video. Yeah. Have you seen the Tomb Raider comic from 1999 that only made it into circulation for 1 week? It's called Lara and Her Horse. Oh my God, this is mint. This isn't Tomb Raider. The last book in this that he sent is the Marvel Comics adaptation of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That's amazing. That, by the way, Alex, that is pretty much the way it goes with later Tomb Raider books. At the beginning, both the covers and the interiors were great. Then somewhere midway through, the interiors and everything started to suck. And then at the end, the covers were amazing because they were being done by Adam Hughes. I can't speak to the interiors yet, though. I've never actually opened them to look. So we'll see soon. Well, I don't have to work on the Batman animated series figures. I just need to I've got everything I need. I just need to finally get that video written. But I got to do Thundercats Redux first. So sorry that's taken so long. Running a YouTube channel's fun. No, World Made a Cardboard. I explained this at the beginning of the show. I made this shirt and seeded it into a Broken Vader scene early this year to help vigilant people, to give vigilant people an Easter egg that video was coming. So this t-shirt only appeared in one video for one shot in a Broken Vader sketch. The one where he's like, wait a minute, your shirt. And it switches back and I'm not in the shirt again. But I cut out the title and stuff. So people only saw these two girls on the shirt, but nobody commented on it. Everybody just went right over them. So I actually told people what the April Fool's video was going to be, and then nobody caught it. But no, this shirt was, I made this shirt for that Easter egg. So now I'm wearing it because I don't have to hide it anymore, because why not? See? Okay. Let's see. Will you, Shockwave, thank you for the super chat. Will you and 2 Cents Toys be doing any more archaeology videos? Yes, Sal and I have every intention. If you didn't watch our collaboration, our team up live stream a few nights ago on Rascal Does Not Dream, we talked about that in that live stream, where we are going to be doing Ancient Mysteries again at some point. Yeah, it's not dead. It's just on hiatus. I'm trying to go to Dallas, Cute Fluff, the Dallas convention. I'm not sure if Melinda's going to go to any shows this year. Probably not. But yeah. Kandagawa Horse Girls, banned in all 50 states, as it should be. Oh yeah, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the April Fool's thing like, I didn't want to just phone in April Fools. I wanted to make it like, you know, let me fix my is my camera clear? Okay, my camera's clear. But yeah, see, I photoshopped this whole, I got 2 images and you know, did them together. It's like a whole Kandagawa Jet Girls shirt, because I couldn't find a Kandagawa Jet Girls shirt, so I just made one. And now I can wear it whenever I want. Oh, there's an anime about girls that ride horses called Something Pretty Derby. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I will look that one up. Assuming that it's not hentai, I will look it up. I will check that out, Ben. Thank you. Well, one of the most common questions I've got throughout my life is, how did you get that? Fill in the blank, whatever it is. And it's because most people think that if they can't add it to cart on Amazon or get it at their local big box store, they don't think to go look elsewhere. So yeah, most of the stuff that I want and get, it ends up stuff I either have to make, or I find somebody who is making it, or, you know. Ouch, man. Ouch. Hey, you know what the difference is though? There's actually shit in my mystery boxes. Whereas J.J. Abrams just likes asking questions like he's some creepy third grader that just has this habit of just asking questions, but doesn't care about the answers. He's the worst screenwriter and filmmaker in America, maybe even the world. Like Yui Boll is a better filmmaker than J.J. Abrams. I will fight anyone on that. And I'm not a Yui Boll fan. I just hate J.J. Abrams that much. I have not, Jesse, but I will look it up. Thank you. I have a t-shirt that basically says, Mothman ate my entire ass at a Denny's, and everybody asks where I got it. Oh, man. Well, that's the thing, Alex, is that it is nice to just see stories that don't have any pretension about them. They're just trying to do crazy, off the wall, badass things. It reminds me of movie making, in the 80s and 90s, and it's refreshing that way. And the cool thing about it is I get to watch it in subtitles and very, very slowly learn a new language at the same time. Did that really happen? I don't recall. That's amazing. I don't even remember it. Oh, why did that happen? Why was there suddenly this YouTube fad of these like lists? I know that I always miss the boat on all the fads on YouTube, but that one was just, oh my gosh. You know what Neil Breen does, though, that J.J. Abrams doesn't do? He actually writes the script. He actually writes what he thinks is a coherent story. J.J. Abrams is addicted to not knowing the story. He thinks that is the best idea of a story, is just not knowing the answers and just asking a million questions. Your job as the storyteller is to know the answer. It's the audience's job to ask the questions, dipshit. I'm speaking to J.J. Abrams, not you, Rob. Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I do, Raymond. That's how I get into trouble, and I can't help it. That's why I stay away from the rest of YouTube. Neil Breen is greater than Abrams because of tuna diet. Exactly. But the problem with J.J. Abrams is that he doesn't actually have anything cool to reveal. That's the problem. He's trying to keep his movie spoiler free, and the movie itself is still spoiler free when you watch it. J.J. Abrams has a broken brain. And I'm so glad that Hollywood is finally realizing this, that he's just a massive con man, both to the audience and to the studios he makes deals with. He has ruined so many franchises. He is the worst kind of wheat thresher. He's a wheat thresher, and the blade is laced with poison. Like, because he doesn't just wreck his movie, he has wrecked Hollywood at the same time. Ugh. Thanks, Crossbones. Appreciate that, man. Very kind. Very kind. Neil Breen is the Neil Breen of Neil Breen. That is also accurate. That is an accurate statement. I am too. I was enjoying that too. I love that. There was some comedian years ago who was like, "That was a good joke. That was a good joke. Let's give another round of applause for that joke. That was a good joke." And he gives a round of applause for his own joke. I thought it was pretty funny at the time. Good. He should be, Steven. He should be. He should never be allowed to return. Ever. Ever. The only time he wrote a story that didn't have mystery boxes in it was regarding Henry. Awful, awful filmmaker. Oh, that's another one. Mission Impossible 3. Horrible movie. Horrible film. I think Mission Impossible 1 is the best in the series as well, Lester. That you and I are in line on that one. Brian De Palma did the best job. I'm not saying some of the later ones aren't exciting to watch, but when you're comparing 1 versus say 3, 3 is garbage. You know what, Jesus? It's funny. They're not. They've all kind of gone silent after the Repro Cops thing, after some of the G.I. Joe classified stuff, and after that debate I had with that alleged expert. It was about a year and a half of constant harassment. There are still 1 or 2 like dweebs around, these like Morlock chuds that are still hell-bent because they're probably mentally ill, but everybody else has gone surprisingly silent. And I think it has to do with the fact that even though I'm sure they still hate me, they're not going to admit that their boy was wrong about everything. You know, the major article came out that made the national news about how toy companies are catering to adults. They need adults. It's the fastest growing segment of the toy market, and they're desperate to court them. Masters of the Universe Origins didn't end. It's still going. And oh yeah, then there was that awkward thing a few months ago where his channel got hit with 59 copyright strikes that unfortunately didn't actually deep six his channel because YouTube's copyright system is kind of broken in that regard. The way it works is you can strike somebody for legitimate strikes, but once they appeal it, you have to then prove you're ready to sue them. In other words, you have to show all the paperwork that you're getting ready to sue them, and that's when YouTube will pull the videos down and strike them and get rid of the channel. Well, most people who aren't major media companies don't have that kind of discretionary income, and so a lot of injustice happens on YouTube because of that technicality. And this channel got by on that technicality while besmirching the photographer that he did steal all the photos from. It's really unfortunate. It sucks. But there it is. So, but that's why I think they've all gone silent, because I think they've realized that they're the pony that they've chosen for the race is just a massive goofball. Thoughts on not letting your sense of worth come from external validation, even though that's part of your work? Yeah, it gets back to that whole thing I was talking about earlier, where if my whole thing is honesty. I've always been honest with you guys, even as people try to accuse me of lying, because they can't fathom that I would come out and say the things that I've said. And they need their narrative about me to hold up. But then they always look like fools because I keep all my receipts. And so then they all look like assholes. But I don't lie. And so what I've had to ride on isn't the adoration of others. I've had to prioritize knowing that what I'm saying has integrity, and it has genuine fact and analysis and sentiment behind it. So I have to go to sleep at night with the knowledge and the confidence that even though people may hate me for saying something, or they may get mad at me for, an opinion or the way I express myself or whatever it is, my satisfaction comes from doing the best work I can and always delivering honest analysis, factually based, honest analysis, where I can show the receipts and go, this is the pattern. This is the situation we see in this case, the toy industry or in the movie business. That's where my satisfaction has to come from. If you're on this platform for fame and adoration, God help you. Because the YouTube platform, as far as the comment section, it is like the arena in Gladiator, and people are ruthless, like ruthless to an extent that I've rarely seen. J.J. Abrams also had horrible body odor. He stinks. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Alex. That's kind of the way I feel about it too. I just can't do it. I couldn't live with myself. Didn't see it, World Meta Cardboard. Didn't see it, unfortunately. I heard it was kind of a non-starter, which is too bad because I like Gareth Edwards. I want him to be successful, but I didn't see it yet. I'll still watch it at some point, but I didn't go to the theater to see it. Yeah, I'm the same way. MI3, you know what MI3 is, Mugiwara? MI3 is J.J. Abrams writing a script with his writing team saying, I've just spent the last 16 months being obsessed playing Metal Gear Solid. Can you make me a Mission Impossible movie that feels like Metal Gear Solid? And that's what they did for the opening scene. And then after that, you know, the rest of it was J.J. Abrams garbage. Oh, it's okay, cute fluff. It happens. They're gonna do, one guy said he's gonna do it till he dies. I'm like, well, that's a really sad waste of your life. It's really sad. Let's see. I think a constant barrage of those Hasbros being knocked back down and put in their place did help silence some, you know, like Cash Only Store and Nice Guy. Yeah. Thank you for the chat, Mike. I've got to take care of some very personal things. See you next time. Take it easy, Mike. Good to see you, man. Yeah, that's true, Robert. That is true. Michael ate your opinion facts? Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I did a video. Oh, you mean like a Let's Play? I would love to know how to do that. I tested it on Patreon one time, and I kind of got it working. But yeah, I haven't really done one of those. Thing I need to do first is just do a real video game review. Once I'm actually recording footage of me right now on OBS, not of me. I'm recording my gameplay footage of me playing Tomb Raider remastered. So I'm intending to use that for a video. So I'll do that first, and then we'll see. Let's Play. I could be wrong, but aren't those sort of the domain of Twitch? And I wouldn't even know how to set up a system to do that. I'd have to figure that out. I'm willing to. I'm not that old yet where I don't know how to use things, but it would be a complete reconfiguration of my equipment. Well, thank you, Crossbones. I appreciate the kind words, man. Truly. Yeah, that's true, GamerX. A lot of them are hangers on. They're also fair weather fans. The moment those people screw up, they hide. They still love to throw the spitballs at the other guy that they've been told to hate, but they won't back that guy when the chips are down. They won't be there. They will leave them in the trenches with grenades every time. Oh yeah, it's I need to read the reason I haven't done the update, the part 3 of the display room yet is because I want to redo a bunch of my shelves before I do it so that there's really a lot of cool differences. I just got to get around to doing that, but because first I got to get all the Adventure Series figures out of that room in there because they're all piled in there as I've been working with them. Yeah, MI2 and 3 are horrible. They're really bad. Like I said earlier, Tyrone, Tomb Raider Remastered, I think I think the graphics are 10 out of 10. I love some of the little changes that they've made. I do think the modern controls are awful. They break the game, and I'm playing back on my PC keyboard tank controls like I did from 1996 all the way through the first 5 games. I'm very good at that, and that's fine. I do wish that the modern controls worked better. They just don't. They don't. You're very welcome, Bayona. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I thank Spencer for that at Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader. Because if he hadn't done that video and I hadn't talked to Chronically, I wouldn't have ended up doing my video and linking back to his video. So when do we see the girls on jet skis let's play? Oh, don't think it couldn't happen. You see, because this morning I decided that since that game hasn't really gone up in value since it came out in 2017 or 18, whenever it was, for the PS4, they had a big deluxe set for that game, like a big box like this with a big lift lid and stuff. All this artwork on it, and all this extra swag inside. And there was like a lot of them still on eBay sealed. And I thought, you know what? I've put all this effort into this video. I firmly believe this isn't saying much, but I firmly believe that I have made the best Kandagawa Jet Girls video on YouTube. So I felt I owed it to myself to own a mint copy of that game. So I bought that box. I have that sealed box on its way as of yesterday morning. So it could possibly happen since I have the game. We'll see. I don't know. Eric Roth is here. Thank you so much for the kind super chat. I did get my Sonic for the Dennis Fisher, sir. I got it. I took a photograph and I put it on Instagram a few weeks ago. It took forever for that thing to arrive, but I really appreciate you letting me know it was there. I'm almost done with the Dalek print that will go with your Dr. print. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. That print is upstairs. It was safe and sound. Everything's good with it. And I will take a photo of that soon for Instagram. But yeah, the mail around here has been stupid lately. Please God, let this happen. Oh, okay. Oh, I did, man. I totally did. Because see, YouTube videos that I've been told in the past, okay, I've been told that sometimes when I do videos about vintage toy lines, that suddenly there's a spike in interest in that toy line. And some people have actually gotten mad at me saying, couldn't you have like held off another week? I was trying to still get, the last pieces of that, or whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I have that big an influence on the vintage toy game or whatever. But I thought, well, if there's even the slightest chance that this video does well, and it didn't, the humor videos never do well, but they're my favorites. I thought I'm going to get ahead of this before the video releases. It's almost like I get it. I'm like doing insider trading on the possible value of this game by going to get it myself. But yeah, I went and got it. Sealed, deluxe edition. It'll appear on the table in a video sometime. I promise. It'll be my crowning moment. Just Jeff. Thank you for the super chat. He says, asking for a friend whose name is also Jeff. Batman the Animated Series. Okay, look, I'm trying to get Thundercats done, and then the next one is Batman. I swear, Batman, and then Cops and Crooks. Like those are the next two. It's going to go Thundercats, Batman the Animated Series, Cops and Crooks. All right, that's the plan. Is it a good plan? I don't know, but that's the plan. Let's see here. How is the DeLorean? Still very still and very not well. I wish I had the money and the time to put into it right now, but unfortunately, right now it's probably just sitting there getting worse. And that's just the way it is. Sorry. I love the car and I want to take care of it. And I did for a long time. And then it got away from me because I had to make a living. So, Kandagawa Jet Girls is about to explode in price from $5 to a whole $6. Yeah. I hope so. That way I can keep my sealed copy and get an unsealed copy so it's guilt-free. Oh man, yeah. I'm doing a video, Rowan, called Top Gun versus Iron Eagle. And I'm hoping that it fully expresses all of both my love and findings about the Iron Eagle franchise. I grew up with both the Top Gun and Iron Eagle official VHS cassettes. I ran both of them a lot. Iron Eagle was actually my favorite of the two. I liked Iron Eagle more. But again, you got to remember I was 8 or 9 years old, so I was of that age where the story of Iron Eagle appealed to me a lot more. I liked Top Gun. I don't hate it, but Iron Eagle was where I was at. That's not to say that this video is going to necessarily, it's not an opinion piece. Top Gun versus Iron Eagle on this channel, what that really means isn't which one do I like more. It means how did these two franchises unspool and play out, and how did they affect one another, which is what my video is going to be about. It's not even about rushing art. It's about, what do I say that hasn't already been said? Batman the Animated Series is nigh on perfect. I don't know what to say after that. It's nigh on perfect. So, yeah, it's very, Rohan, it's very much like The Rescue. I saw that in the theater and watched that a few times on video as well. It's very much like that. Yeah. But the added bonus is that Iron Eagle gets to have F-16 Falcons and dogfights and Lou Gossett Jr. as Chappie, which is a huge bump up from The Rescue. Well, that wasn't a Snowspeeder review, Jesus. That was going to be a, and still is. Look, I got more ideas than I've got time. All right. And we got caught in this cycle there for a while where people expected me to keep up with the news, and the news was coming in fast and furious. So I didn't have time to get videos done that were like big features. So I've got to go back and revisit some of that stuff. And the story so far of the Rebel Snowspeeder in toy form is one of those. I haven't forgotten about it. It's just, when am I going to get around to it? I mean, it's something. It's something. Well, I would say from what I've heard that Iron Eagle 4 is the worst. But I don't know. You mean, so if people aren't giving me hell about Dallas, they're going to give me hell about not unfinished, but projects that are like collecting dust on the back shelf. All right, that's fair. I could, Christian. It's just a matter of what are the liabilities on doing that? Who can watch that and then, decide I hit myself, I'm going to sue Michael for it. Thank you for the $2. I badly need a Bruce Timm Dick Tracy series. That would be awesome. That would be cool. I'd love that. I love that show. I have it all on Blu-ray. I love that show. Batman Brave and the Bold is great. Well, Jesus, the problem with that is people stopped watching them. The world opened up again, and the Saturday live stream kind of became a non-starter. Plus, during the lockdown, all these other channels showed up that weren't writers or videographers or editors. All they knew how to do was live stream. So they kind of dominated the space that we were operating in. And I know that people said ours felt different because everybody was in the room in real time and it felt like a real show and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. That's totally true. We have brought the format back occasionally. When Tony was here, when Conrad was here, when Sal was here, we brought back the format of that kind of live stream. But it's just hard. It also is hard to keep that standing because you see the hallway behind me. You see how the carpet's clear. When we have the live stream going like that, like we did for Saturday, this whole hallway is filled with cables, and there are lights in that room back there and everything. And you can barely walk around in the studio. It's kind of ridiculous. No, Jeff, I'm not talking about your channel. It became a thing in the pandemic. And I get it. Webcam and StreamYard has made all this stuff turnkey. I mean, it has, and that's great. But it did mean that it kind of pushed our Saturday live stream out of the running. I've had Kandagawa Jet Girls on my wish list for years, but I'm cheap, and all these anime cheesecake games never dropped to a 5. Yeah, that's true. No, Christian, like I just said a few seconds ago, my DeLorean's still in rough shape. Saturday streams were my companion in the pandemic. Just love it. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to say it. I'm tired of live streams that is just constantly covering toy news and nodding. Yeah, that's great. I agree, Robert. 100%. I agree. 100%. Thoughts on Bat in the Sun and their fan video? I don't know much about them, Crossbones. Don't know much about them at all. I'll look them up. Oh yeah, Toy Soldiers. He was great. He was great in that movie. I saw that in the theater in the UK. I think McFarlane's 7. Oh, is he? Are they 7-inch scale like everything else he does? Because didn't another company already do that? Sideshow or something? Diamond Select, somebody? I can't keep up with all the Batman animated relaunches of the toy line. Let's bring back the pandemic. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. We'll talk about it. I'm not saying it's deader than a doornail, but you know. What about vintage versus 3D stuff? What's 3D stuff? 3D printed? Those weird cardboard sunglasses with red and blue plastic in the lenses? What are we referring to? Michael's Kandagawa Jet Girls has a Diedrich Bader feel. That's a compliment, Sam. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm humbled. I've seen some fairly live doornails, mostly when they jump out of the door and into my foot. Yeah, I agree. I would have loved to have seen a Wonder Woman series. That would have been great. During the DC animated universe. That's what I would have wanted. I wanted that really bad. Jody got busy with work. From what he told me, he and I are still friends on Facebook. He just kind of disappeared into work. Bye, Maki. See you. He just disappeared into his job, I think, or something. Jody also is the type of person that sort of he runs around supporting smaller channels. And I guess after my channel's Lego video blew up or something, like he was supportive of it and everything like that. Like he didn't like tell me to like screw off or anything. But I think Jody, when he does spend his time on YouTube these days, I think he's spending his time mostly on smaller channels. If he's on YouTube right now at all, I know he got real busy with his job. So apparently he got some new position or something. So I don't know the whole story, but he's alive and well. He's just working a lot in the, you know, the traditional space. Oh yeah, I've heard the Green Lantern stuff is really good. I've heard it's really good. So do you the reason I keep doing that on this stream is because that's the way my brain read it to me the first time I saw it on the Amazon recommendations. My brain just said, you got to read it this way. And I laughed my ass off and I walked away. I didn't buy it. I walked away. I walked away for over a day, 2 days, 2.5 days. And I kept thinking about it. And every time I would think about it in that voice, I would laugh my ass off. So yeah, every time I see that name, I say it that way because it seems like such a 90s action movie title, like, or a 90s like mid-afternoon, early to mid-90s mid-afternoon television show title that would run between Xena Warrior Princess and Nash Bridges. Like it would just be this show that would just be on right before Gina Nolan's Sheena, or something like that. And it would, it would just be, after, the television bumper would say something like, I'm trying to remember how they led out of a show, but it was always something like in the final commercial break before the end of the last show, it would be like, on WCBS 42, our afternoon lineup is still ready to go. The action is still packed. We're still action packed this afternoon, and after Baywatch, make sure that you catch Kandagawa Jet Girls at 4, and then at 5:00 catch Nash Bridges here on WCBS. Like, it just had that feel to it, except if those shows were also on late night Cinemax. Like, I had this feeling that it was also going to be kind of trashy, like an Andy Sedaris film. And it was. Yay! Like, it was, so good. Good night, Jeremy Kerr. Take it easy, sir. I saw that, Patrick. It was really good. I saw that. It was a really, really good episode. Does she? Forgot about that. I didn't realize that. I heard she's really sick right now with breast cancer. You just sub-reference so much I've not thought about. That's what we do here, Robert. That, to quote that creepy Templar guy from Kingdom of Heaven, that is what I do. No, Jay, I said earlier in the stream that I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I want to see it very badly. It looks amazing. I just want to pick it up on 4K or Blu-ray when it comes out. Oh, yeah, sure, Ricky. Hi, Maggie. Are you there? Do you see me? Can you hear me? Hello, Maggie. One man's trash is another man's treasure, unless you are a raccoon. Then it's all just trash. Very true. I haven't seen the photos of them, Christian. Don't know. Don't have a thought in my head about them. The 3D stuff is a door to a replica debate. Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Look, here's the thing about that. All of my Kenner Star Wars is vintage plastic. All of my Stan Solo figures are obviously not. Do I care that there are repros in the market? Nope. Do I love the innovation? Yes. Do I lose sleep over it at night? No, I don't. And if you have a problem with that, you can go watch the Repro Cops video to see how I feel about you. Oh, well. This is true. This is true, Jason Anderson. This is very true. I answered this question earlier in the stream, Nick. No, I only have my one from childhood, and that's it. I don't collect those. Why is everybody asking about Mad Balls these days? When did that become a thing? When was that? Like, remember a few years ago it was Boglins, and now everybody's asking about Mad Balls. Next thing you know, they're going to finally start asking people about Supernaturals, and then pigs will fly. Let's see. Have you seen a record? I have not seen that, but I'd be happy to watch it. Yeah, but why? Like, they literally fall apart. They crumble to dust. They're time bombs. They're toys that need to be reproduced if people still actually like them. Rockabilly, man, that's really, really kind of you. I won't lie to you and say that I'm not looking for one, but I really would like to pay you for it. The one I'm really looking for is Tongue Lashor, because I just couldn't seem to grab him before he disappeared and then became like this thing. My email is retroblasting@gmail. So if you want to hit me up there, I would like to pay you for that rock on if you have it. So that's very kind of you to offer that up. Thank you. Well, like I said, as soon as the pollen stops in Atlanta, I'll be able to do the final pass on touching up the playset and getting it ready for the video. So, let's see. No, Nathan, I haven't done that yet. Thank you, Tim Hayes. That's very kind of you, sir. Thank you. I haven't done that yet because I've been waiting to see if I can find a tongue lashor and get some of these others, these other figures. As soon as that happens, then I'll pick up a Snake Mountain for sure. But I didn't want to jump in on that before I could know if I could even get some of the figures again, or get some of these final figures. Yeah, exactly. There's people who don't care, and then there's people who are just crazy. And yeah. Yeah, when I was hanging out with a few of them, they were all ooh la la about Mad Balls. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it either. Well, everybody, looks like we have topped out, and people's bedtimes are showing up. So I want to thank everybody again for being here tonight and just hanging out with me and going through the mystery boxes and having a great conversation about all this stuff. No, I got into Origins at the beginning, Nick. The line's been chaos lately, which is why I've been out of it. And I've also been sticking to the original run as Origins. I haven't been getting into all the variants and stuff that didn't come out in the 80s. But even with that, there were too many exclusives, and so I bailed out for a while. But yeah, thanks for the hangout and being here, everybody. And thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I see your name all the time as well, Brian. I mean, I've seen your name here for a decade, so thanks for being here. It's been fun. It's been fun aging with you. So yeah, anybody who needs to get in touch with me, you know how: Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, Gmail, YouTube. I'm RetroBlasting on all of them. Guys, just thank you again for supporting the channel. Thanks for having these great conversations with me about all these topics. And I will see you on the next video, which will be Star Wars Expanded Universe from 1998, Power of the Force 2 figure range. And then after that, it will either be Retro Collection Indiana Jones or Adventure Series Indiana Jones, with a few interesting videos in between that will be smaller, like a certain one Scott Hughes and I have been working on. So stay tuned, everyone, and I will see you soon. Good night, everybody. Good night.